What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the BallGame podcast. We've got a great episode planned for you guys today. We're going to be recapping what's happened so far in the NBA Finals. We're going to get into some off-season talk. We're going to throw a splash of football in there. But before we do that, I am Tom, joined by my lovely co-hosts.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
I'm Pete.
Yeah, Pete's usually behind the camera. He's made a few appearances on camera, but today he wanted to be on the couch with us. So,
Well, Pete's
you know.
been gone for a while.
Right, Pete's been
Yeah,
MIA.
he has been gone.
I'm sorry.
With on and off the pod. We just he just doesn't like us anymore.
Nah, look, honestly,
I think he has cooler
so
friends.
have I, bro. I've gone MIA in terms of going out too, so don't even worry about it, bro.
Hey, bro.
We have trips planned, Pete. We don't
Yeah.
gotta be
We're-
with them all the time,
Exactly.
right?
We're invested in the long run. You know?
Exactly.
This is yeah.
We have the broad scope of things in our
Chris and I are here for a good
Absolutely.
time, not a long time, right?
Jesus.
I've been having a ball going
Yep.
out lately, honestly. I've been going out, like I always say, I've been going out, but past few times have been actually electric.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dude, don't get me wrong. I love going out, but it's not. You can't do it all the time.
It's not cheap, bro. I went out I was with Ryan and them. Bro, we got double tequila sodas. It was fucking $60.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus, man. I mean, doubles are tough.
Where?
But
Pull out of the
some place in the
401k.
city. That's how it goes.
Never know what
Okay.
city will do
For
it.
tequila shots.
Yeah, you
City
can't get
definitely.
you can't get drinks in Manhattan, people. You'll go bankrupt easily.
Absolutely.
But
You know who else is going bankrupt? Jason
Me?
Tatum. Jason Tatum is going bankrupt in these goddamn NBA
Oh,
finals.
man.
Bro, stop.
bro.
You gotta stop. Yeah, before we get into it, what's up, DJ? In the chat, DJ. What's up,
What's
bro?
going on?
popping.
What's up,
Where the
brother?
fuck's so sleazy at, bro?
Oh, sleazy.
Get in here, bro. Where
You might have to like FaceTime him or something.
You probably do have to FaceTime him, to be honest. He
Yeah,
does
he's
have
got
to
to be in
for
here.
the Celtics talk, 'cause we
Chase
could-
Budinger
then we could troll
on.
him.
Oh yeah, he's like a pro volleyball player. He's an Olympic volleyball player,
Oh
right?
shit!
That's actually
Bro,
Chase
volleyball's
Budinger.
fun. Yeah.
He looks so.
Remember he was on our men's league?
When are we gonna? when are we gonna talk about the Olympics? Never.
Probably when the Olympics are popping.
When
you know?
Caitlin Clark gets put on Team USA.
Hell yeah. Yeah. That's
On
that's gonna
God.
happen.
When Caitlin Clark goes on Team USA.
Right.
That's,
And switching off that.
otherwise, I won't talk about
Yeah.
the Olympics.
Alright, the
Yeah.
Celtics smoked out the Mavs in Game 1, 107-89, and followed that up by a 105-98 victory on whatever day of the week that was, Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday night, yeah. Like you mentioned, Jason Tatum shooting the worst field goal percentage in NBA Finals history thus far through his career, but hasn't mattered. Game 1, Kristaps Porzingis checked in the first quarter, and obviously we've watched a lot of basketball in our lives. So
Your
it was
mic
one
isn't
of the
on,
great-
Trunk said.
Wow.
Really?
Oh no. It's a good time to fix mine.
Shout out Red. I started calling him Red. I love it.
Yeah, I was about to
Sexy
say,
red.
you've been saying
Oh,
that
yeah,
a
I've just
lot.
been calling him Red.
So, Kristaps Porzingis
Sexy
checked
red.
into Game 1. It wasn't one of the greatest stretches of all time history, but it was an insane stretch of basketball he had to end that first quarter in Game 1, and
Yeah.
that's really where the Celtics won the game. They went up 17 after the first quarter. I think Porzingis had like 11 points and 2 blocks just in the first quarter. He was shooting that bitch from dumb deep. He
Made
was blocking
crazy
transition dunks. Yeah, it was really absurd, and that really won them the game in Game 1. The Mavs played catch-up. They got it close a few times, but it was just too large of a deficit to overcome.
Oh, Sleazy's here, by the way.
Nice. Beautiful. We'll address him when we address him.
Right.
Hola.
Kyrie Irving, Game 1 stinker, and that's really all it was on the Mavs side.
Stinker.
Stinker. It was a
Simply
stinker. There's
was.
really no other way to
Stinky
describe it.
stinker.
Yeah.
Game 2, Kyrie Irving carried that momentum in and kept stinking it up. I think he had 10 points in the first quarter, but after that, it was, what he finished with, like 14, 15 points?
Yeah,
Not a
I
lot.
think he finished with 16.
Yeah, it was just really bad. It was brick after brick after brick. Luka was dogging them.
Yeah.
Luka was
Yeah, it
shit.
didn't matter what
Luka
they
was
threw at him.
hunting Jason Tatum in Game 2. I pointed out to you because you were sitting next to me watching the game.
Yep.
He was actively looking for Jason Tatum, which I thought was pretty funny. But the Celtics once again just showed how dominant they are as a team and how their 5-out offense is pretty impossible to guard. I mean, we mentioned it, Jason Tatum's shooting hasn't been that good, but he has been getting assists and passing to wide open teammates, which I guess is impressive. But
Yeah.
Kid.
Drew Holiday's feel for space on the court was on full display in
God.
Game 2. It was, I was laughing to myself because obviously, like, Sleazy probably reposted it, and that's why he came up on my TikTok. But it was like a Drew Holiday highlight tape from Game 2. I'm just sitting there giggling to myself. I'm like, this is really a layup mixtape I'm watching right now, like a wide open layup mixtape.
Yeah.
Like,
It's right
and they
Even
made
contested, bro.
and they made a mixtape out of it. But
Yeah.
then, like, I watched it a few times, bro. It was just his ability to find the open space on the floor. It's actually absurd.
It was wild.
He's literally a big man in a small guy's body, and just his ability to be in the slot and just be in the right spot and catch the passes and through traffic and be able to go right into a layup. It was really impressive.
It was honestly a masterclass of off-ball movement.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
like
for
dead
sure.
ass, it was a masterclass of off-ball movement.
And it's good for the kids too, because like Johnny from Elton, for the kids. But like when you think of off-ball movement, you typically think of guys coming off screens, hunting for threes, looking to get 3-point shots and jack them up. Typically, when you think of off-ball movers, but Drew Holiday was showing the value of moving off the ball through the paint and through traffic. So that was super impressive.
Yeah, how many point guards are moving like that off the ball?
Yeah, you just can't classify him as a point guard
Right.
anymore.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
Drew's just
power
1 through
forward.
5.
Like,
He's 1
yeah.
through 5. It
I saw
don't matter.
Paul Pierce say about the game because he was there for Game 2, and then KG asked him on the podcast, well, like, what was it like watching Derek White and Drew Holiday go like in person? And he said his main thing was they just play basketball for 48 minutes, and a lot of guys in the NBA don't do that.
That's a Pete answer.
But like 90,
like
honestly,
That
like,
is a
Pete
That is a Pete
They play
answer.
basketball for you.
98% of players in the NBA don't do that, and they just go, even if they don't have a chance, they're going for the block, they're going for the steal,
Yeah.
they're moving off the ball, they're crashing the offensive and defensive glass. And you look at the Celtics, height-wise, they shouldn't be a great rebounding team, but they do what we're going to have to do in men's league. They gang rebound.
Facts.
Everyone helps out on the boards, and those two guys, I mean, it's just, I don't know if I'd call them the best defensive backcourt in the history of all of basketball, but they're
pretty damn close.
I don't know. Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars exist.
No, but I'm saying they're pretty damn close. Given
They're up there. They're up
given
there. I
the-
wouldn't call them the best.
given the era of basketball that they're in now, though,
No, yeah.
and
they're-
how loose, how strict rules are in terms of being able to hand check and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're absurd.
they're
absurd.
insane for the time frame. Like they're insane. They're one of a kind.
You guys have any quick takeaways from Game 1 and 2?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that has impressed me the most about the Celtics is they guard so well. Like
Dude,
they just,
alright,
they
yeah.
just.
Before, I didn't even want to, like, that's what I was going to jump in and say the same exact thing. No, I'm happy you're talking about
No,
it.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
talking about it. You are.
No. I'm saying word without saying word, you know? Yeah.
But you literally
saying
just started
words.
saying.
No,
words.
you got me excited. Like, you
Right.
brought up a point that, like, I was just going
Right.
to touch on, too. So, like, take it away. Like you're 100% right.
All that
Yeah.
to tell you to take away what you were already
It
saying.
takes it away from me.
Because that was
Give it back to you.
That was exciting to me because that's something that, like, I feel like is not even being talked about enough. Like, Celtics defense is what's winning on this game.
Right.
These games, like, no, but now I feel like I'm taking over what you're trying to say.
No, what happened was Chris like inbounded the ball looking for me. You came over and stole it,
Stole it.
and then passed it back
Passed
to
it
me.
back
And you're
to
like, "Yo, that was such a great play by me." But
Yeah.
I will say real quick, and then I'll let you say.
I'll
your
just
point,
never make
because
my point.
I
It's
wanna-
okay.
Next time I'll just say
It's all good.
100%
I
and
want
let
to
you
add.
go.
I want to add to what
Yeah.
Pete said. Real quick, like you know how in the past we've looked at the Celtics and like their offense just gets very stagnant.
Right.
Yes.
Their offense, like when they go through these dry spells on offense now, it's pretty much just their defense is so damn good that it makes up for those dry spells now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, except for Luka Doncic, because he's just unguardable, and that's fine. But
Second half.
Kyrie Irving clearly struggling. Jaylen Brown had that one-on-one possession in the first quarter, second quarter, whatever it was, where he absolutely locked him up, forced a turnover, and you don't do that to Kyrie Irving. Like just straight up, you don't. But everyone, and obviously these are what these guys are here to do. They're all guarding so well, and the points about Tatum. Listen, the guy's scoring like shit. Well, that's obvious, but they're up 2-0, and like when people throw that in your face, there's really nothing you can say about it. Like they're up 2-0. He's clearly doing enough for them to win. I think now that it's likely that Porzingis isn't going to play, then he needs to come alive. But for now, yeah, the Celtics have really impressed on the defensive side of the ball for me. The Mavericks, somebody else got to get going. It's really as simple as that. You need, role players play better at home in the playoffs. That's traditionally the thought process around there, but they really got to come alive. You can't 3-0, it's over.
So that's the thing. I think that's kind of what's going on. That's kind of the downfall here for the Mavericks. Celtics defense is super, super talented. No matter what you try and wheel and deal on the Mavericks, the Celtics are right in your face. Now, that's okay. There's plenty of other teams. There's been plenty of other games throughout this season where we've seen an extremely dominant defense with a couple of stars on the opposing offense. However, those teams with those stars are utilizing the entire. We gotta change this TV. That was crazy.
Yeah. Insane. Yeah.
That was nuts. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is the Mavericks are relying on their stars, and I feel like they're not really utilizing their team as a whole. So, Luka, even the commentators are consistently saying it. They're like, "Oh, there Luka goes. He don't need to pass to no one. He gets himself open." Yeah, he gets himself open. Yeah, he's putting up 30 points a game, sometimes 40 throughout this season, etc. He's clearly a dominant offensive player. Some may argue he's even the Finals MVP. I mean, triple-double last game was pretty crazy.
He's saying that.
Yeah, and I fully agree. Now, you got another star, Kyrie Irving, on the team. He's trying to do what he's like a quote unquote, legend.
Through two games.
Trying to kind of almost reciprocate what Luka Doncic is doing when he has the ball, where he's kind of trying to get himself open and take that spinning fadeaway shot and contested layup and draw a foul, and he's not getting it. Look, clearly the only person on the team right now that's able to do that is Luka. I think Kyrie should play more of that all-around point guard basketball. So get guys open, set a screen, even if you're a little small, set a screen, get other guys open. Fuck it, try getting Luka open. He'll cash in the shot. Let Luka put up 50 points one of these games. I think Kyrie needs to kind of throw the ball around a little bit more and stop trying to be such a playmaker by himself, you got a dominant defense with players in the other team trying to kind of play 1-on-5 basketball.
Yes.
Obviously, it's not really going to work in the long run. So I'm sure the coaches are realizing that and are probably going to try and adjust before it's too late. But that's kind of what I take away from the season so far.
I think that was really a great point about Kyrie, because we've been praising him all season and especially all playoffs long for figuring out what role the Mavericks need from him any given game and filling that role and changing roles game to game. But through the 2 games in Boston, I mean, those fans are in his head clearly.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, he's pulling out of the offense and trying to take guys one-on-one like you mentioned. And listen, he's the same thing with Jason Tatum. It's law of averages. It's going to adjust. He's going to make – when you take tough shots, you're going to go through a stretch where you miss some of them, and that's just what he's doing right now. But also, like you mentioned, I would like to see him acknowledge that he's missing these tough shots and try to be more of a playmaker and use his gravity and the attention he draws to try and get the other guys involved more instead of shooting brick after brick after brick after brick. I mean, it's really every time the Mavs gain momentum, he shoots them out of it.
Yeah.
Every single time they go on a run,
way to put it.
Luka defers to him and is like, all right, Kyrie, it's your turn. Let's go. The time is now. And it's brick after brick after brick every time. I mean, you have to expect that to change. I don't know if that in and of itself is enough, because the same way Kyrie should shoot a little better, Tatum should shoot a little better too. So they might kind of just cancel each other out with good games. But
I'll say, I love that you said 1-on-5 basketball, because I think the Celtics defense, especially with these two, Luka and Kyrie, has kind of funneled everything into the mid-range. They're okay with you taking these contested mid-range jumpers, and Luka's shooting 60% we said on long mid-range jumpers, which is crazy. But I'm going to live with Luka or Kyrie taking these long mid-range jumpers that are not an efficient shot in the end over pulling up for a 3 or getting to the rim uncontested. So even in situations where it's Luka versus Peyton Pritchard, they're just kind of leaving them on the island. They're like, yo, if you're going to cook Pritchard, fine. Cook him in the mid-range, go make that shot. That's fine. And eventually Luka made so many that they had to switch up the defense a little bit. But you just see that the Celtics are like, all right, if that's how you're going to beat us, fine. We're the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. And last game, it didn't even fall. So it's just wild to me, what the Celtics can do, even when their style of game, which is what we were concerned about, doesn't work. You shoot 10 of 39 from 3, damn near 25%.
Oh, I fucking hate this, bro.
And then what? But what do you dislike about it? It's a fact.
Can't sit here. The Mavericks are just so dog shit, bro. It's not a fucking Celtics. Oh my god.
Yeah, and
But it is a Celtics
It
thing.
is. You're right. You're right.
You know what else I noticed? It's almost like what's happening with Tatum and what's happening with Kyrie.
Should have fucking skipped the pod today.
What's happening with Tatum and what's happening with Kyrie is kind of similar in the aspect where they're both kind of, not performing up to their full standard. Except the difference between the Celtics and the difference between the Mavs is the Celtics are accepting of that and they're utilizing their other players, whereas the Mavericks are kind of doing
the
the
Celtics'
definition.
other players are actually basketball.
Are actually
players.
players. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, I mean, like you said, like even if they tried making an adjustment where they utilize the rest of the team, we don't know if the talent's there. Well, the talent's there, but not compared to the Celtics.
No.
Not against the Celtics.
By no means.
But
It's not
yeah.
like the guys aren't getting fucking. It's not like Luka's not fucking passing to these guys.
No,
They're
he is. He had
fucking-
10 assists. Was he at 10 or
11 assists in
11
last
assists,
game.
yeah.
Won the
Probably-
first game.
Probably a bunch of
I'm
them
pretty
that
sure.
were left on the. I mean, the team outside of Luka is shooting like fucking 9%.
It's
from
10% from
Yeah.
three,
as a team. Like
Yeah.
they're just
It's
like
terrible.
yes, the Celtics are doing the thing and they're the ones who are winning the games. But I don't know, bro. The Mavs are losing these games more than the Celtics.
But
are
I'll
winning them,
also
bro.
say this, like it is a testament to what the Celtics do because Luka just had an amazing first half. The first game of the series, he was good. He wasn't great by Luka's standards, but the second game, the first half was one of the best first halves we're gonna see.
Yeah.
But it's a testament to the Celtics because they continuously put Luka Doncic in actions and throw different bodies at him
See,
throughout
I don't.
the entirety of the game.
I don't think that
He's worn out by the end of the
I
game.
agree, but also Luka's when did he get to the NBA? He's in his sixth year.
Yeah,
Every single
6 to 7.
every single team that he's gone against has made the game plan to go at him defensively and wear him out. He could overcome that. The problem is that he's going at it on the defensive end while no one is doing anything offensively.
yes, exactly.
It's not. To me, it's not really like shit. Like, can Luka be better on defense? Yes, I know there's so many fucking clips circulating, but like, bro, the guy is the only reason they have a fucking chance.
Right.
I
I know
agree.
Sleazy wants us to talk about how dog shit he was in the second half, bro. They lost by 8. They would have lost by fucking 45 without him doing what he did. Like, they literally would have no chance. They actually somewhat had a chance in game 2.
That's
strictly
why.
only because of him. So the defense, it's like, yeah, can he give me another 2 to 3 possessions throughout the game with a little bit more effort? Sure, absolutely. It's fucking Jalen. The Celtics are so great because they get to the basket and 5-out offense. Like, that's just what it. Like Luka Doncic, it doesn't matter who the fuck's in front of these guys. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. They're cooking out. That's why they're fucking 60 and whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're 5-out offense and Jalen and Jason's ability to get into the paint. It's not a Luka Doncic thing defensively. It's far from a Luka Doncic not including his fucking teammates thing. They're shooting brick after brick.
Yeah, they're
and
just
that- At a certain point, he's getting to the point where he's literally like he checked out in game 2. Clearly, I don't think he was ass he was ass in the second half of game 2, but I think he really just checked out. He's thinking, I'm on fucking horse tranquilizer playing with a broken fucking ab and barely having a fucking leg, and these guys can't hit a fucking open 3.
Yep.
Like, what am I going to do? You got PJ Washington deciding, you know what, I'm the point guard, and then with fucking 18 seconds left on the shot clock, passing it back to Luka in the fucking backcourt. And then Luka has to throw a fucking turnover to get the ball over half court.
by Drew.
What are we doing? How many times we saw fucking Dante Exum, Derrick Jones Jr., all these fucking fools bringing the ball up and fucking and I know like
But that was game planned because they're pressing Luka. They're forcing him. And again,
but these guys can't fucking hang.
I
with the
agree with
fucking-
you.
Like,
I'm not disagreeing with
the
that
ball
fact.
has to be in like the offense can't start with Luka and Kyrie with fucking 10 seconds.
10 seconds
on the
left.
shot clock,
I
bro.
completely agree, but
They
it's
have
also
to start with the. I don't. They
but there's a thing here that you can't just have the ball in his hands all game because this will
well,
happen.
right. Kyrie has to fucking. Kyrie simply has to step up.
And then even then, it's still only one. Like even if you pull Luka for 6 minutes in a game, that's Kyrie. Those are 6 minutes where it's only Kyrie Irving, and that is a shot at the Mavs roster construction. It simply is because
No,
they don't have
ball
anyone
handlers.
else.
But we can't let Derek. You saw what happened. PJ
was terrible.
Washington
It was
doing that
disgusting.
shit. They were fucking making momentum, and he fucking obviously the
Because
foul
there's
or
no
whatever,
weak
but, like,
link
it
on the
costed them.
Celtics defense,
I-
too,
Right, but
which makes it
but
harder.
why? Right, but why is PJ Washington taking hit amongst himself to dribble the ball up? Why are
That's
these?
a Jason Kidd game plan. Too.
No, it's not, bro. He grabbed the ball off the rebound and fucking dribbled it up and then threw it back to
But then there are
Luka.
other times where there's an
Right,
inbound
but
and it's
I'm not
just.
talking about that. I'm talking about PJ Washington choking the fucking game away like that.
I don't know if he choked the game.
That was part of it. That was part of it because they had momentum. That was part of it. Be smarter. Why the again, you're fucking what? You're on a fucking 10-0 run, whatever the fucking case may be. It's a 6-point, 7-point game. PJ Washington decides I'm fucking Isaiah Thomas. I'm John Stockton. I'm going to fucking turn my back and bring this shit up and then throws it fucking backwards and it leads to a fucking turnover. That's not a fucking coaching thing. That's an idiot thing. That's an idiot thing.
That's an idiot thing.
That's a not knowing the time and place thing. That's not a fucking coaching thing, bro.
You know what, bro?
Get that
I
stitch
think-
on a pillow.
They're playing like it's
I
not a
was thinking
coaching
about
thing that these
t-shirts.
motherfuckers are playing like dog shit.
Bro, I
They're
think
playing, and I was the
no.
I was the first to praise them for playing good because I'm the Mavericks guy. I'll be the first one to shit on them when they're dog shit. You've seen my fucking Tim Hardaway Jr. monologue from years ago. I'll fucking shit on them when they're playing like dog shit. They're playing like dog shit. It's not a coaching thing. It's not a Luka Doncic thing. It is Kyrie Irving and the other guys are literally scared. Not even about how dog shit they're playing. They're playing fucking scared of the moment. Derek Lively looks like he's never fucking been on a
Yeah, it's bad.
basketball court before.
Lively's
Yeah.
bad,
Fucking
right?
Maxi Kleber's scared to fucking shoot.
He's also injured.
You got fucking Josh Green and fucking Dante Exum for doing it for Australia. That's the only reason they're fucking out there.
Hey, Dante hit a shot, man.
Bro, I think if Kyrie Irving even if Kyrie Irving steps up, it's still like a 7-point game throughout the whole game.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean? Like, I think-
that's also what I think too. This is
Like-
why, like, Chris, I get it. Like, you're saying it's like it's really not much of a Celtics thing. It's more
No,
of a
it
Mavericks
is a
playing
Celtics
like
thing.
shit.
They're winning the games. They're obviously doing good things. We praised Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis and Derek White.
They're at a clear talent disadvantage. It sucks. The Mavs just are. Simply are.
No, they are. The Celtics' margin for error is much bigger than the
Yes,
Mavericks. For
exactly.
sure.
And I mean, even if we, like, you'd have
the
to think,
Celtics
even
have
if this Kyrie thing
The
steps
door
up,
was
right?
open. The door was open in game one. Somehow, some way, after being down 30, the door
They
was
cut it to like 8.
They
cut it
did,
to
but
like
it
8.
was
And then what happened? Kyrie
think it
Irving
was
shot
ever in
brick
doubt.
after brick of shots that we've seen the man make a career out of making.
You cut a 29-point lead to single digits. You're in the game. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, but at
100%.
the same time, it just feels like the Celtics are just, even when the Mavs did it at multiple points in game 2 also, where they would go on a
What
run.
happened?
And but it wasn't just Kyrie Irving.
Bro,
the
watch
second
the
half it
game,
wasn't.
bro.
The second half it wasn't, Chris.
every
We
time.
must be honest about
Luka-
that. Luka missed a bunch of big shots.
But Luka was
But
like
that's
the
not on
reason
him.
they would go on the run.
I
So it's
completely
like,
agree.
okay. If he misses a shot after making 3 straight, it's okay. Kyrie
But he
Irving
wasn't
after
making 3
missing
straight.
every single shot. Bro, what the fuck is a dude supposed to do?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that it's Luka Doncic's fault, but in the second half, let's not just say it's Kyrie Irving shooting them out of the game. Luka was obviously gassed, had way too much on his plate, and they were constantly making him work. They were. It's a fact. If we just go back and watch the game, Luka's in every action on defense. They're trying to make sure this man doesn't have any energy on offense. And that is just because he is the sole reason that this Mavs team can stay afloat. I'm
Right,
not
so
taking
when-
shots at
right,
Luka.
So when Luka has a second half or a few minute stretch where he struggles or needs a break, what is supposed to happen, Matt?
No, I agree. I'm not saying otherwise, Chris.
So
Kyrie, but it's also just where is Kyrie taking?
every time Luka fucking deferred to anyone else, and it was they had momentum, and he made a few good passes or was getting into the teeth of the defense because he was still making plays in the second half. The shooting wasn't good, but he was still responsible for every single open shot.
Yeah.
Not 75%, not every single open shot was because of Luka Doncic. And every time they went on a run, the run ended by Kyrie Irving shooting brick after brick or turnover after turnover and then an avalanche of threes from the Celtics. That was the game script for game 1 as well. That has been the game script through 2 games in the series. The Celtics dominated the first quarter of game 1. The last fucking 7 quarters of basketball have been pretty fucking competitive. They've been pretty fucking competitive. And every time the Mavs have the chance to maybe pull away or come tie it up and take the lead and get the momentum, what happens? Kyrie Irving has been stinking it the fuck up. It's not a Luka thing. It's not a Luka thing. Don't disrespect my fucking king. Holy shit.
Powerful shit right there.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I it isn't Luka, obviously, but I give more credit to the Celtics than I do take away from, like, say, Kyrie.
I really
They've
don't.
made life
I really
incredibly
don't, because
difficult on Kyrie.
Like, and me saying this isn't shitting on the Celtics. Me saying this is because I think the Celtics are better. They're better than what
so you
they've
need Kyrie
Absolutely.
to be the best version of himself.
Yes, what I'm saying, right. I really do think it is a Mavericks thing because the Celtics aren't going to keep playing where the door is open like this for them.
No.
Tatum's
Right.
not going to keep being dog shit.
Yep.
They're not going to shoot however bad they shot from 3 in
Yep.
game 2, probably ever again for the series. It's a Mavericks being dog shit thing and not capitalizing on
needed
the
one of
Celtics
those.
actually keeping the
Yeah.
door open.
You needed one of those.
Like, the door was actually open. It was. The last
Yeah.
7 quarters of basketball were really fucking competitive. They were really competitive. You're like a few shots and a few non-turnovers and a few stops here. The Mavericks can win both of those games. Both of them. And that's what I mean. It really is. And, I expect the Mavs to win game 3
agree.
just because, like, they have to. But, shit, like, they could win game 3 and then stink it the fuck up again and go like, the Celtics are going to have, like, they're going to have a complete game where everyone shows up and they shoot the ball well.
There's
They're
a
due for it.
47% three-point game coming.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Right.
Very
Throughout
soon.
the team, like, Tatum's gonna have a good game
Yep.
while the others are going.
Yep.
Right.
It's gonna happen. Like, I know, like, O'Sleazy knows I like to hate on Jason Tatum and troll, but, like, he's so fucking, like, he's too good of a player to not have one fucking good game in the finals. Like, he's gonna have a good game and it's gonna, like, correspond with everything everyone's doing.
I said it in the chat. I said, I don't know which game is going to be the Tatum game, but I think one of 3 or 4 is going to be
Right. The
a
Mavericks
Jason Tatum
had
game.
opportunities to win without playing perfect.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
They played not as bad as they could possibly play because I really do think some of their defensive stuff has actually been really good through 2 games. But, like, they've had chances to win without playing perfect, and we would think with how good the Celtics are, they would have had to play perfect because of but the Celtics haven't been the best version of themselves.
No.
So that's why I really do think it really is more of a Mavericks are beating themselves thing to me more than like, obviously to win a game, the team winning has to get credit and they have to put the ball in the basket, obviously. Like, shout out to Drew Holiday, shout out to Porzingis, shout out to Jaylen Brown, and shout out to Derek White. But
it's scary to me because I think if you're a Mavs fan, I feel like you gotta, like, kind of fear right now.
Yo,
that
he said he could see your meat.
I just showed him that. Yeah.
that like the Mavs
Now he's
are-
watching the pod to see if he actually can.
Somebody wants to link to the pod.
Yeah, after hearing that.
after hearing about your meat.
Is there a blanket?
Just put your shorts down. Oh my god.
That looks so much better.
That
yeah.
makes it look a lot
Boxing
better.
tissues.
That makes it look a lot better. I feel like if you're a Mavs fan, you fear right now that, like, their perfect game is coming, but it's gonna come at a time where the Celtics also play their perfect game.
Or the Celtics can just play a great game, not even a perfect game,
and it's still a better game than the
right,
Mavs playing at their best. Like, it's
And I also, something that I noticed, I also think the Mavs offensive game plan is kind of playing into the Celtics defense a little bit because they're
1000%.
because they're switching everything. So when Lucas said, it's like, oh boy, I could get the matchup I want every time. So it's, let's do that instead of, like, they were running, like, insane, like, pick and roll concepts and stuff versus the Timberwolves and Thunder. And I know, like, it probably won't work as well against the Celtics, but at least, I don't know, at least try. There has to be some way where they, like, I know they were in the chat talking about, oh, Lively and Gafford. I thought they were supposed to be great big men, blah, 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 blah. I still think they are pretty freaking great as a duo. They're just not being utilized and kind of being played off in this series. There has to be some way where they're physical, especially if Porzingis
Well, I was just going to say, Porzingis is out.
There has to be a way where those guys, like, interior dominance can be on display. There has to be a way where they're, I don't know what it is. Like, we're not coaches, but there has to be a way to find a hole in the Celtics defense to get those guys going, and then that'll open up everything else. And, like, the Kyrie thing, like, it's, bro, just make shots. Like, I don't know. He's getting looks that he likes to get. Obviously, there's definitely a few possessions.
A lot of them are contested, though.
A few possessions there where they're, but that's
what
the
he
thing.
does.
It's like, like, I don't mind
It's also,
Kyrie
like,
taking contested shots.
Bro,
you
his
know?
style of play, it's very hard against the Celtics. Like, a lot of his, fadeaway contested shots. Like, bro, like, you're playing against one of the best defenses in the league.
Yep.
No fucking shit that's
But
not
that's
really
why
gonna
it's
work.
like it doesn't fucking matter that their defense is so good because he hits contested shots. So if their defense is so good at staying in front of guys that shouldn't matter to a guy like Kyrie because he's hitting shots with people in your face anyway.
That would be Luka though. That would be Luka though.
He's just having a tough time, right? You're like, bro, Kyrie's gonna like. I agree. You got to get easier shots. Like
so that's what I was about to say.
Man, like statistically,
we've seen Kyrie make a career out of like. If you like Kyrie's shot diet for most of his career is pretty insanely hard shots. He really doesn't get to the rim like that, especially against the Celtics. He's not going to get.
No,
to the
it's
rim
impossible
like
right now.
So like what? The open threes, like he's like Luka's definitely getting the dude some open, especially in game one. In game one, he
had some open.
Game one, he hasn't made a three yet in the series, bro. This is a guy who's fit like 50, 40, 90 for his fucking career, bro. He hasn't made a single 3-pointer in the series, bro.
I will say though, usually when you are hitting those contested looks though, it gets set up by getting space on like easier looks, and then you get in a rhythm, and then you can make these contested shots and stuff, but. Right now, it seems like every shot that he wants to take is about as heavily contested as you could possibly make them. That's the problem. And when you face Drew Holiday, when you face Derek White, Jaylen Brown, like, where are you getting a switch? Because it's just it doesn't work. Because you switch onto.
I think he needs to hunt Tatum the same way Luka is. I'm not gonna lie.
And the only switch the Celtics weren't giving up was Al Horford to Kristaps onto Kyrie.
Every time he got it, he got a really good look.
Yes.
He was getting good looks on Al. Like,
he was. They don't want to give up that switch. That's the thing.
It is kind of crazy how, like, the Mavs
Al and Luka, they're fine with.
I can't believe the Mavs, like, really couldn't guard Drew Holiday for the life of them. Like, that was, like, kind of.
He doesn't even have the
just
ball.
so good at
that
finding
was, like,
the spots.
fucking crazy. Like,
and they have to help on those other guys.
Bro, the Mavericks defense has been so good because of Lively and Gafford being able to block shots and be in the paint.
Yes.
But you have
Porzingis
and Al Horford spacing out in the corner, or in Porzingis' case, fucking 30 feet behind the fucking line. So those guys are pulled away from the basket. So then you have a Jason Tatum drive. You have everyone collapse onto Tatum because you have no rim protection. So as everyone's guarding Tatum, they lose sight of Drew Holiday. So Drew Holiday, being the insanely intelligent basketball player he is, instead of standing out here on the three-point line while my dude's getting tripled, let me find a little crevice in the defense where he could just drop it off to me for an easy layup.
Do we think Drew Holiday carries that into Game 3?
What happened?
Do you think Drew Holiday carries that into Game 3?
I think the way Drew Holiday's it's
I think
all
the Mavs would still allow it. I think it would happen again.
But it's all dependent on how they're going to play the stars.
Yeah,
in JT and
I think they're going to continue. They're going
to send bodies at Tatum.
Yeah, they have to say like, yo, we were throwing bodies at Tatum and making them shoot. And listen, I know they're a great shooting team, but like we just saw it, like holding the Celtics to 105 points is like kind of impressive.
Yes,
holding Tatum to the shooting splits that he has throughout these years. Yeah. Like, obviously, it's kind of the same thing as Kyrie where he's just missing shots, but also, like he's not like Kyrie because he has the ability to just get easier looks for himself, and he's just not. Like, he
got some good layups that just didn't go down. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Dude, I know we were, like, slandering, like, PJ a little bit before, but, like, he was locking Tatum the fuck up.
PJ's been great.
PJ's been awesome.
Bro,
PJ's been
him
the
on
best.
defense, though?
But that's what I mean about
phenomenal.
My point a few minutes ago where it's like, it's just Luka hunting mismatches. You have PJ Washington with a mismatch every time. Some type of action to get him the ball. Like, he's doing a great job taking Derek White off the perimeter.
Bro.
He's cooking Derek White almost
surprisingly.
So why
every
not
fucking
run a
play.
few actions to get that guy a post to?
I said that
Like,
when we were watching the game together. I look at you and I go,
for as great as Derek
PJ
White
needs to get his ass
he
down
can't
there.
fucking like he shouldn't be able to hang with him. And if that's the weakness in the defense, if that's really what it is. And then you exploit that a good amount of times, they're going to have to
make them react to that.
Yeah.
And then once they change something else, then you could kind of be in the driver's seat a little, and you kind of have control over what they're going to do defensively.
Right.
I just think Luka Doncic and Kyrie are too good to not figure out like some type of weakness. I know the Celtics are fucking historically great. There has to be a weakness in
Kyrie's
there,
going to have a big game 3, I think.
I hope, bro.
But I will say I completely agree.
Like
the
tribe,
it needs to be like it's not even like PJ doesn't have offensive skills. Like he's very clearly shown that he is a capable offensive player. Like he could get buckets. You could post them up and he could get a bucket out of the post. He could play in isolation a little bit. He could get a bucket. Like I don't understand why you don't take advantage
Derek
of the guy.
White's a guard, bro. He's PJ Washington's like actually a fucking big man. Like
PJ has 50 pounds.
Yeah, in theory, Derek White just shouldn't be able to bang with him on the post. Like, it's not. I'm not knocking fucking Derek White's defense. He's still a first-team all defender, but he's a perimeter defender.
He's so sensitive about it.
He's so sensitive about fucking. Bro, you're up 2-0 in the finals, bro. Just fucking sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, bro.
I think like this. Sleazy become a Celtics fan.
He defends them like he's on the fucking team, bro.
Well, Sleazy, have you always been a Celtics fan?
He's definitely always been a Celtics fan. Yeah, I would think
I know
the
a couple
adjustment.
people who like just became Celtics fans in the last
because they were
years.
successful.
I'm not saying Derek White can't fucking get a stop on PJ Washington, Mr. Sleazy. It's fucking Derek White.
Which is in theory he's not supposed to be able.
Right, in theory, he shouldn't be able to stop
it's a good
him every time. Right, that's something that, like, right. If there's anything that they could try and change and go at a little bit more, why not that?
Like, that is theoretically
why not that?
an efficient possession. Theoretically, it's an efficient possession.
Especially if Porzingis is out, they got to get those lobs going again.
Yeah.
Like,
That's almost
get lobs to Gafford in.
Because
they don't.
We don't know.
I don't think so.
Next game, I don't think he's going to play game 3.
But the lobs are tricky because it's not even that, like, it's the way the Celtics are playing it.
Right.
They're having a wing. Like, Jason Tatum is guarding the big man. So it's not even like you're getting the opportunity to have Rudy Gobert and drop coverage, and then you just throw it over the top because you draw him in a little bit.
Luka's also not trying to turn the corner at all.
That's also very true.
I'm going into this pick and roll, and I'm just waiting for the switch. Like, he's not even trying to turn the corner off the switch.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. You got to at least try to get downhill. He's waiting and going at the end of the shot clock, which, like,
he is cooking the mismatches.
Yeah, it works for him, but, like, they got this far by him attacking and turning the corner. Right. And I know it's different defensive schemes, but you got to
say they're camping in the paint for him.
Yeah.
Because they're living with Derek Jones Jr. shooting.
They're not, though.
They are okay with those two shooting.
They're not giving them. They're not helping off the
corner threes. No.
Right? They're really
taking away the wings.
They're really not camping in the paint, though. They're camping in the slot.
Yes.
They're camping in the slot, but they're not really camping in the paint. Like, theoretically, if Luka just goes into the screen hard, like, if he could just beat the guy on the switch, which it's Luka, he could beat guys like I know he's not the fastest, but he could beat guys off the dribble just with his fucking strength and crafty Luka magic stuff. Like, he should be able to turn the corner a few times. That's what it is. You got to find something that you can make them adjust. Yeah. That's really what it is. Like, you know, get in your bag a little in the chess match side.
You're not going to beat them at their game.
Yeah.
No, you will not.
Because like, as much as I'm saying Kyrie just has to be better and the role players have to make shots, like we said, the Celtics haven't played their best basketball yet, so that might not be enough. So you might you have to figure something out in terms of the chess game. It's not. I'd love for it to be as simple as just make more shots, but I don't. It's not that simple.
No.
You got to find some type of weakness, and there just has to be one. You know, there just has to be something you could find throughout a 7-game series.
Do you think the Mavericks adjust?
Especially with Porzingis out. Losing
Porzingis out,
like, you have to find
change
something.
A lot. Yeah.
Al Horford can't play 48, bro.
Xavier Tillman's gonna have to
for as great as fucking Al, and he was my X factor in the series. He's been fucking great through 2 months. He's been insane. He's been insane. So, but like, he can't play all 48.
No, he won't play all 48. You can't have a 38-year-old playing 48 minutes for the next few games.
Unless he's LeBron.
Yeah, unless it's LeBron.
Exactly. I mean, unless it's LeBron. But
it's Al.
But yeah, I mean, if the Mavs don't figure this out, they'll be heading into the offseason very soon with some questions.
I mean, do we think I mean, it's kind of a silly question I was going to ask. I mean, I do think the Mavericks are going to try their best to make adjustments. Any team in their right mind
would assume so.
I'm saying I think they're going to try their best. I don't think they're going to be successful. I would love to see them be successful. It's over? I want to see a competitive run.
You think it's over?
I don't know. Look, Trunks has the Mavericks going 4-3 in the series.
Who gives a fuck about Trunks?
You know why does Trunks have
what the fuck does that matter? You might be thinking.
Did you see the air corgi?
The who?
The corgi that predicts the games.
Yes. What was his prediction?
Celtics would win the first 2, then the Mavericks would win 2, then the Celtics, and then the Mavericks would win the next 2. So
wow,
we're going right, bro.
Dude, that would be fucking electric.
Do I seem like I'm fucking worried? Do I seem like I'm
the corgi? Come on,
yeah.
Corgi made the shots. What do we?
No,
I mean, yeah, if the corgi made the shots, we shouldn't.
Mavs are gonna win Game 3.
Bro, we're all part of the tribe. Chief Hella.
Celtics are gonna win.
You guys put money on that?
I didn't.
On what? Mavs in 7?
Yeah.
I have like a lot of money on the Mavericks. Like too much money on the Mavericks.
Chris isn't coming to Nashville if the Mavericks
don't have any money.
Series.
I have no money on the series, but I picked the Celtics.
I have
in
heart.
7.
I feel like there wasn't much value in it, you know.
I would revise my decision now to
Yeah.
like Celtics probably in 5 or 6. So
Celtics 5 or 6. If you had to go 5 or 6, what would you go? If you had to choose one.
Celtics in 5.
Yeah. I don't blame you for thinking that.
I think the Mavs win Game 3, and then 4 and 5 belong to the Celtics. So
I think
Unless
if,
KP's out.
if the Mavs win,
well, yeah, which he likely is, honestly.
He's definitely not playing 3.
So then
I mean, this injury's like rare and all, so you don't. They probably. It's not like it's a sprained ankle or something where you know what you need to do for it. You know, I'm sure they have an idea. They're fucking doctors, but
best doctors in the world.
right, yeah. But you know, it's not a common injury on a lanky 7-footer. It's concerning.
He ruined my parlay.
Well,
I feel so bad for the guy, but
fuck
like,
you, Porzingis.
I don't think the parlay don't feel bad for me. You know.
Well, was that the only leg that didn't hit?
Well, it changed the aspect of everything because him.
This fucking
Him-
guy. That's
I needed him
he
for
missed
one more
7
point.
other legs.
I needed him for one more point, but had he stayed in the game would have also went different. Most likely panning out the other 2 stats.
So how many
Yeah,
legs
Peyton
did you?
Pritchard
Oh, okay, I
totally
see, I see,
would've
I see, I
scored
see.
It wasn't
another
Peyton
point.
Pritchard. It was another one. It was Al Harford and
But why would that?
Well, if Porzingis was in longer than Al Horford.
Al
would
probably would have been in less.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
They didn't share the floor much.
We were
You
there.
remember
when,
what I was
when
going
you
through-
were tight.
So I'm
That
forgetting the
Porzingis got
parlay,
taken
yeah.
out. He got taken out for Al Horford.
I just remember like I think what it really came down to was more of an emotional thing.
Right.
Once he came out, I knew there was no more hope for the parlay.
Well,
You
yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And then that was it. So
Hey, at least Peyton Pritchard hit that big 3.
everybody thought I was
That was
fucking crazy though for taking him for 20 points though.
Who,
Everybody thought I
KP?
was also crazy for taking Drew Holiday for 20 points.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I felt like he was due. You know? I mean,
I feel
mean,
like
the-
Drew Holiday's due to shoot like shit one of these
The
games.
guy only takes like 9
do
shots
you think
most
he's going
games,
on?
so.
Do you think he's going
Drew every
less?
every
on his
once in a
next game?
while just like chucks
Probably.
up
Maybe.
fucking wild shots.
Yeah.
But he's been
I-
so damn good all playoffs.
I'd have to
like-
assume they're not going to let Drew Holiday do that again. I just don't think it's going to happen. Like when those guys
Yeah, but that's going to be
Get
the game
to
where
the
Tatum
rim.
starts cooking, so it's not going to make a difference anyway.
exactly, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but-
Mavs, the
I don't know
Mavs-
if there's a way to just stop a guy from finding open space.
right, yeah.
You can't. There's only 5
Well,
guys
you
on the
could-
court. You can only take up so much space.
Yeah, but you could also help more in terms of like helping the helper. Because Drew's just walking into a fucking
Or
layup
you're gonna
every
give up
time.
a million threes.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think you live. I think you live with Drew Holiday. If anyone's gonna beat you, like shit, let Drew
If Drew's
Holiday-
scoring 20 something and Tatum's shooting 32%, you're going to live with that, I think.
Who do we think top
Yeah.
one scorer is on the Celtics for next game?
Jaylen Brown.
To
Al
Jaylen Brown
Horford.
summer.
I want to say
Al
Jaylen
Horford's
Brown every
fucking-
single game. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown.
Crazy.
Al Horford.
Xavier
I
Tillman.
think Jaylen Brown's gonna have a big game.
Facts, Xavier Tillman.
I feel like Jaylen Brown needs like a 30-point game to kind of
yeah,
He's
some
due.
light, some
Yeah.
light.
he's due for a big
you
game.
know. I feel like he's been like edging 25.
And then Tatum 40 piece in game 4.
Like, yo, sorry.
I'm telling you right
Edging
now,
is
Tatum
crazy.
40 piece in game 4.
Tatum. Oh my
Yes,
God.
Jason Tatum 40 piece in game
I feel
Say-
like just to
say
like
Tatum
silence
sucks.
everybody and be like, yeah, I could fucking do it. You
I'm
know.
gonna bet 40 plus. But all right.
Yeah, there's so much more to talk about. Yeah. I mean, Chris,
I'm good.
I feel like
I think we've talked
no,
a lot
I'm saying
about the
more
NBA
other
finals
things
now.
to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm saying
More
about
other-
this.
Tom has the next
Oh.
thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I do have the next thing.
Well, I had a transition, but Pete like spoke after my transition
He kind of does that.
more about the
Oh.
finals. When I said like the Mavs are gonna have a lot of offseason
Right.
questions.
So, speaking of off-season questions,
There you go.
there are at some point going to be 30 teams with off-season questions. And the off-season might be the most exciting time of the year. So, what team or teams are you guys most excited to see this off-season? Like, what moves are you anticipating any moves for any specific teams? What teams are you watching more closely than others?
I want to hear Pete go first.
Bronny to the Lakers, baby.
55th pick in the draft. That's what he's most
No,
excited
no,
for.
no. It's like it's weird because like when it comes to like who what teams are gonna pick up what players, I kind of want to get into the fun stuff. Like, what the hell is LeBron gonna do next season? You know, if we're gonna talk about teams and what they're gonna do next year, the Lakers are kind of in a position where it's like I feel like they're going up and down the seesaw. It's like what's gonna happen next? Who's gonna fly who off first? I feel like LeBron doesn't want to let go of things. but a lot of people feel like he has to. I don't think he has to.
Let
I
go
think,
of what?
like
Los
playing
Angeles.
basketball, which is like
No, no one-
Get the fuck out of
I
here.
don't
No one
agree
wants to
with.
see LeBron
I do not
stop
agree
playing
with.
basketball.
He's still so good. He's still like a top
he's
seven player
phenomenal.
in the NBA.
I don't think he should go anywhere anytime soon.
Do you think he stays with the Lakers?
That I really wouldn't even know. Does he have any more? What does his contract look
So
like?
I'm pretty sure he has a player option
Player option for this
Okay.
year.
for this year.
But either way, he probably
which
opts
he's
out.
probably going to decline.
No matter what.
Did you see that? Sorry to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
Did you see that JJ? I saw a report. I don't know how true it is that JJ like doesn't like that he's the second or third option as the coach, and he might not even want the job.
You know, first of all, I
anymore.
think that's ridiculous, and I don't think that's true.
That's insane.
'Cause
Yeah.
I think JJ kind of understands the logistics of the fact that a guy just won back-to-back national championships, and you've never been a coach in your life.
Right.
So I think JJ kind of
He's
understands
never gonna
that,
get an
like,
opportunity like this.
The
again.
Lakers
Yes.
are hilarious, bro. That
I know, and there's
motherfucker
so
was
many-
never fucking leaving.
oh, he used
UConn.
No.
but he took less money to stay at UConn, which is wild to me too. But
Is it? He's going for a 3P, bro.
no, I mean, let me rephrase. I think it's
Objectively,
rare.
it's
rare that
you're
you
right.
see people like given how much money he declined. Like he declined
Was it 6
20
years?
million for one fewer year. Like
Bro,
his,
he's cut like that. If you've been
He's
following
definitely
Or
cut
something
like
like
that,
that.
for the past few years, like you knew he was. Cut
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
He
Bro,
said it.
was
He doesn't
ne-
care about money.
He was never going to no Lakers.
He doesn't
bro.
care.
Never
He was
taking that
never
job.
going to no Lakers.
It would have been a
bro.
terrible move, in my personal opinion, for him. I
it
wouldn't
would've-
have understood.
I don't
No,
know.
I think it would have
was-
been a bad move.
It was. There's a lot of things that go into it. I think. In terms of the Lakers, if you're even considering looking at that guy, you're looking into the future. We talked about this in the car on the way to Jenks, actually. If you're looking at a guy like that, you're looking at life after LeBron. If you're going to hire a great college coach for his first NBA job, you're thinking of how he could build up your program,
Yep.
not how he could win a championship with LeBron. So if you do that, and especially considering the fact that the other guy who was in the race, LeBron James, has a fucking podcast with. So you want to talk about LeBron James. I think what the Lakers have done so far this offseason is a big fuck you to LeBron James. And I think that's really not a game you want to play when he could simply fucking leave.
Yeah.
When he could simply
Lose him for
fucking
nothing.
And
leave.
signed for nothing.
That's really
Anywhere.
not a game you want to play. And we talked about it when they lost, whenever they lost to the Nuggets. Like, I already thought it was a real possibility that motherfucker could leave. But now you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire that you don't want to. Like, I don't know what they were even thinking. I get it. You got to do your due diligence on the hottest guy in college basketball, especially when your head coaching seat is open. But shit, man, it's LeBron James. Like, there's certain things you do and you don't, and that's just, to me, if I was running a team with LeBron James going for one last title push with him, like, I'm not looking at a guy to build my program up. You know, and I really wouldn't be looking at JJ either. But if LeBron's advocating for him, I'm gonna at least look at him.
I would say though, I think Hurley is the type that could make a successful transition to.
Yeah,
the
no, I
NBA.
think he would have been a great NBA coach. You don't. What makes listen, Danny Hurley's X's and O's are actually insane.
Yes.
I watched like a full fucking 2-hour YouTube video about all his fucking offensive actions. It's really insane what he does. But what makes that guy great is the way he leads young men.
Yep.
And holds everyone accountable, and that's just like, it's not what you're looking for in a LeBron
Right.
coach. Really, you're looking for a great
You're looking for a
coach
yes
with
man.
experience and
LeBron is the coach.
a guy who's had experience going through how many games? 18 plus 16, 82 plus 16 is what, 98? A coach who has experience winning 98 games in a season, that's who you want to pair up with LeBron James, not a guy who's won 30 games in a season of 20, 21-year-olds, 19-year-olds. Like, so I think given the fact that LeBron could leave this summer, you're really playing with fire, and especially given the fact that he's about to go play Team USA with a bunch of other veterans who might not be too happy in their current situations either. Like,
There's gonna be some conversation.
right, they're
yeah.
going to be
Locker room
talking.
talk.
There's gonna be a lot of
locker
fucking
room talk.
tampering. I'll tell you that much.
They're going to try and get together, KD, Steph, and LeBron. They're going to try and get
Has
together.
to be Golden State.
It's really just a matter of can they get together. I promise.
that would be fucking crazy. That
bro.
would
I'm
be
certain.
awesome,
like,
bro.
I don't know LeBron personally, but I really feel like I do. If that is possibly on the table, he's not declining that. If there's a way for it to happen, he's not.
He definitely wants to play with Steph.
Yeah, because like you said, at this
Absolutely
point,
wants to play with
100%.
Steph.
bro,
Right.
LeBron ain't chasing the money at this point.
Bro, he wants to win, bro.
He wants to leave
another
out here
ring.
on a fucking
Bro.
high note.
He wants
you know?
another ring.
Like that. That's all it is at this
Bro,
No,
point.
Steph
he
and
wants
KD.
to win, and his best chance to win just might not be with the Lakers.
Bro,
especially
yeah.
if they're
What does the rest of that team?
especially if they're fucking playing games
Me.
with him. Especially if they're playing games with him.
And I don't even think it would be any hard feelings from the Lakers. Like I don't think Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. They'll be
No,
like,
I mean they're a
hey,
fucking
bro.
shit show. They're fucking
what I mean?
embarrassing.
No, they're
it's just like
Their front
They're
office
bad.
is actually fucking
I feel
embarrassing.
so like I actually feel bad for LeBron, man.
Genie
like,
Bus would have had to fucking
like-
sell that fucking team if LeBron didn't.
Yeah.
fucking
So
come
we're
with them.
talking
It's
about
embarrassing.
this end of things for the Lakers of where it could go so wrong, but there's also the other end where they could trade for a guy, like trade for a legitimate star. I don't think it's out of the question that they could potentially
You
go
still
get
want them
Donovan
to do that?
or even trade. I'm not
think that's
saying that
done,
I
bro.
necessarily
Yeah.
want them to do
We
that.
just watched them fucking ruin a championship team by trying to do that.
But let's also not act like it's not on the table.
oversaturated team. You
It's
mean?
on the table.
No, yeah, it's on the table.
So
just-
I
like,
don't
and
think it's the move though.
Trey Young or Donovan Mitchell, if they're available to you, I mean, probably got to do it, right? Or like,
I don't know.
mean, what
To
else?
what
Are,
team?
what are your other avenues
To
to
who?
improve the team then?
the Lakers.
The Lakers,
We're seeing a shift away from
the super team.
the super teams, right, into
I feel
two stars and then a third somewhat star usually, and then great role players.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to make that move.
We definitely don't. I think,
I don't know
and
how
they
you-
have some good role players in place, and there's always ways to add fucking role. We saw Kristaps
LeBron went back
Porzingis
to
get
the
traded
Cavs?
for a second-round pick,
Be-
bro. Like,
I would be pretty
there's
crazy.
always avenues to get
Marcus
role players.
Smart, a second
telling-
for Kristaps and 2 firsts.
Yeah.
One of the
I just said
craziest
to
trades
Tom,
I've ever
imagine
seen.
LeBron went back to the Cavs. Like what the fuck would
It's a
that look
great
like?
point.
That's also
That
on the
would
table.
be, yeah.
So
Bro, that would
my
look.
team that I'm most excited for in the offseason was the Cleveland Cavaliers. You could
Yeah.
I'll just transition into
Cool.
that since
Yeah,
you
yeah.
brought them up. But I mean, you have 3, maybe 4 guys. I don't know if you want to include Evan Mobley in this. Probably not, but
It's funny. I was thinking about him too.
just for the sake of the segment, we can make it a little bit interesting and say maybe 4 guys who are all going to be in the talks this offseason.
Yep.
All offseason.
Yeah.
Probably only 3 of them. Probably Evan Mobley's probably
He's
safe, but
Yeah.
Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen are going to be in talks all offseason. So I don't have a particular idea for them or favorite route for them. I just picked them because I think there's so many different routes that they could go that's one that I'm waiting for the Woj bomb of Darius Garland getting traded or Donovan Mitchell signing his extension or rejecting his extension or the Jared Allen trade, whatever the case may be, the Donovan Mitchell to the Lakers rumors, the Donovan Mitchell to the Heat rumors. Like we're gonna get bombarded with stuff this summer,
Yep.
Cleveland Cavaliers related.
Yeah.
They're also, did they hire a coach or are they still looking
No,
for
they're
one?
looking for
They're
one.
still looking for
It
a
ab-
coach also.
They just interviewed Borrego.
Yes, right.
They don't need a coach if they get LeBron.
True.
You know.
Yeah, no, that's
I
how
don't-
that
I don't-
works. That's how that
I'd like
works.
to believe the LeBron thing isn't on the table for them, but shit.
No, I would like to
No,
believe it is on the table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love to
it'd
see
be
LeBron
sick.
in
I mean,
Cleveland.
Oh yeah. In
Yeah,
terms
yeah.
for like me personally, yeah, that'd be cool. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
mean like in general. I don't
LeBron,
think
go-
it's on.
Oh, I
the
don't think it
table.
is. Yeah.
Do you
but-
think LeBron is locked in on staying in LA?
No,
No.
Okay. All right. Cool.
no.
No.
I
He's gonna
said this
say-
in the car the
he's
other
gonna say,
night. I
"Lay,
might
fuck
be
you,"
in the
and leave.
majority. I think
fuck you.
I really think he might leave. I just don't know where. But like,
Well, I feel like there's definitely destinations
Like,
that make sense.
I
Like the
really-
Knicks do make sense.
I mean, if you look at our fucking
The Sixers.
video when they
Yeah.
lost, like I said it then too. I said I think he really might leave, and now, like I said, they're fucking playing with him. Like this whole Dan Hurley stunt was fucking playing with him, especially
bro?
because it fucking got leaked that they were going to fucking make JJ the coach.
Yeah.
If that shit didn't get leaked, I would have said, fine, you know what, do your due diligence. But
yeah.
it was literally reported a day before Danny Hurley got involved in the mix that JJ was locked in on being the coach. And we all know JJ's they have a fucking podcast together.
Right.
They have a podcast together. They're fucking playing with my glorious King LeBron. They are. So yeah, I think it's a real possibility.
Bro, they
he
might
leaves,
not
bro.
want to fucking pay LeBron again. They might want to try and build something else themselves. But
Right, they might also be done with it.
yeah,
you know?
they might be over it. They might be like, look,
Like,
we
listen,
tried,
we had
spent
our
the money on
we
it.
won our ship. Like, I just don't know if you. LeBron's like too LeBron to be
don't
the,
let
to
LeBron
be
walk.
to be the
Yeah.
ones to say we're done with him. You know,
you don't let LeBron walk. What if
LeBron decides when he's done with
What
you.
if the
Yeah,
Cavs
they're not
get
gonna
JJ?
disrespect
I think
him. Yeah,
Cleveland
yeah.
is a legit possibility.
What if the Cavs get JJ and then LeBron goes home?
That'd be fucking wild, dude. I think there's multiple suitors for LeBron that I think make a lot of sense. But it really does, and I'll say this, it really does boil down to,
Where he
is
wants to go?
LeBron willing
Yeah.
to take a pay cut? Like,
That's
are
it.
you
Yeah.
willing to sign for far less
Yeah.
than you could?
He better be,
I-
bro.
I-
But that's the thing,
fucking
we can't
billionaire.
speak for him.
Yeah,
when,
we
when
don't
there's
really
a,
know. We can assume that he would.
When
but
there's
we
a
really don't know
$55
if he-
million a year offer on the table as opposed to only getting paid 15 or 10, it gets a little dicey, bro. Like it's
and a lot of the
even though you're a billionaire, like
and a lot of the LA
35
shit,
million.
though, was
Yeah.
I want to stay home because I want to watch my sons in high school. Bronny's about to be in the fucking NBA.
NBA, yep.
I don't know how far Bryce off is from college, but he probably
1 year, I think he's
Yeah,
going.
he's
to
going
Who do you
into
think would take
senior year of high
Bronny,
school.
honestly? Because that's a big conversation for where LeBron's gonna go. I mean, that's
it
kinda
definitely
like,
matters. I
Yeah.
think whoever does end up drafting Bronny immediately puts himself in the mix.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I don't
bro.
know I don't know if he's gonna just go follow wherever his son goes,
I don't
but
think so.
they're
you
they're
don't
in the
think so?
mix.
This isn't
I
likely.
don't think he's just gonna go.
Maybe he wants to
there.
verse his son for 1 year first.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just gonna go to Charlotte
humble
because
him.
of something.
This
Yeah.
isn't likely.
Dunk
but
on his kid.
man, keep an eye out for OKC because
For Bron, nah. Bron.
it doesn't make
Ooh.
sense.
Nah, Bron ain't
LeBron
going
to
no-
OKC?
He's not going to no
But
OKC.
I
And
know, I agree.
KD to OKC and Bronny to OKC.
So I was about to
Yo,
say.
I saw actually Pick a Side was talking about like free agency. I saw they posted a video today and it was like their hottest hot takes for free agency and fucking John was like, I want to see Paul George go back to OKC.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be filthy.
That's one that'd be nuts.
That'd be
So this
filthy.
leads me into my team that I ended up picking, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many different avenues that the Thunder can take to improve their team this
Yes.
offseason.
Yeah.
You have 1 million picks. You could trade for literally anybody you want. Like, there is no question. You have a whole bunch of cap space. You could sign whoever the hell you
Yep.
want. And I think there's a couple moves that you just have to keep in the back of your mind. Kevin Durant is the perfect, and I'm talking perfect, fit for the Oklahoma City Thunder roster right now.
They need a vet, man.
Perfect.
They need a vet.
Perfect fit for so many reasons. You don't need him to be the leader. You don't even need him on most nights to be the best player.
You just need him to be a hooper, and that's what Kevin Durant
Go
wants to
out
do.
there, get buckets, and you're kind of going to throw him into like, I don't want to say the Golden State role because no, they're not to the level of Golden State, but you're going to ask him to now do more defensively because you're not going to have as much offensively. And then you have 2 7-footers in the front court now, and it kind of solves your rebounding issues. It solves rim protection potentially next to Chet. And then it's like, all in all, I mean, bro, OKC, if they get KD, bro,
Raps.
it's probably the best team in the NBA.
You know what's so funny? You know how many times we've said this whenever KD goes to another team, and then we could
My next
we
chapter.
could rewind.
Yeah, my next chapter.
Yeah, we could rewind to times where, like, literally, like you were giving KD a new one, like it's just not gonna work. Like he goes to these new teams and he fucking sucks and this and that.
Well,
There
he
was
never
a
sucked.
plenty-
He
like you're
never sucked.
relapsing,
Yeah.
bro. We're literally
It's-
relapsing.
But I
Like,
think this is a
different.
different situation
we say
because
that every time.
no, but it actually is a different situation because when
this
you
is-
go get Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
usually you're getting rid of all of the assets
Yeah,
that you have,
exactly.
and you're
Right.
getting rid of your depth. You're getting rid of all of that.
your draft
OKC
picks.
could trade for Kevin Durant
Yeah.
and still have 1 million other picks, cap space, and you're not getting rid of a lot of your valuable role players.
Who do you think would be a viable option for them to trade KD for?
Well, the contracts I'd have to look at.
Yeah, say no contracts.
I
Though.
don't think they're
Perfect,
gonna
perfect
trade
scenario.
KD.
Well, this is the thing.
Well, they're not going to, but I'm just theoretically.
I know you
saying,
mentioned
like
like they
I
wouldn't.
think Paul
need
George is
KD.
way more in the
way more,
wheelhouse.
because
yeah.
it makes sense because you could just sign him outright.
I know you
because
said
he's a free agent.
They would just want. I know you're saying like Kevin Durant's like role wouldn't be necessarily to be the man doing it all, but I think what OKC does need is they need a veteran. They need somebody that's a little older, a little more experienced to play more of a leadership role because they're such a young team. That's why I got all like.
KD ain't no damn.
I got a bunch of
leader,
hard
bro.
eyes when I heard imagine LeBron goes to OKC because like LeBron's a perfect leader, like just a senior that can lead a team.
Senior.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Yeah,
While I
it's
agree-
crazy.
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
I know, I need to chill.
But they just
Oh man, I can't.
they just pushed the Western Conference finalists, like the team
Yeah.
that made it to the finals,
Yeah.
to 6. Look good doing it, and it's not even like it's one of those teams where there's no culture kind of established.
Yeah.
There's a culture.
No, there's a culture there. What do you think was the one piece they were missing that they didn't make it
big
that much
man.
farther?
A big man.
A big man.
The
Excuse me,
Mavs big
sorry.
man killed them.
But
Right.
they're a team that it's like they're not looking for someone that's a legit no skill type of big man. And when I say no skill, I
looking
don't
for
mean it
Hartenstein.
disrespectfully. Isaiah would be a perfect fit there.
I know.
Bro,
Don't
I
get me
think
wrong.
fucking Andre Drummond would be fucking.
I
perfect
agree,
there, bro.
but if we're really
They
talking
literally
about,
just need a big man.
but if
bro.
we're talking about what OKC
like, yeah,
looks
you
for,
want a big man that
You have to have
fits the
Chet.
style, but realistically, you need a guy.
Chet ain't
Chet's
it?
so skinny. You need someone.
They need Wemby.
You need someone to where
Imagine
like
both
if
They need some beef.
yeah, like Chet could
Yeah.
get bodied. You know, like Chet.
I think
Brother.
he's gonna get bigger.
Chet
He's so
just by
young.
himself, like you need
he's
some
so
insurance
young.
on him.
Yes.
You need an avenue to
takes
be able
time,
to.
He's gonna get
make a switch.
You need
takes
yeah,
time to
you
get
need an
there,
avenue to be able to put Chet at the 4 if you have
Yes.
to,
Yeah.
which they were unable to do this past season. Where like
Chet at 4 would be phenomenal.
Chet's great
Yeah.
at the 5, but he also definitely has some value in some
4. I
lineups
agree with that.
against some
100%,
teams against
yeah.
at the 4.
He's switchable.
Right,
He
right,
can guard the perimeter.
So like you need an avenue to be able to try those things. So like it
Yeah.
really doesn't need to be anyone special, just a big body who could rebound. Hartenstein, Drummond,
and I agree
Yeah.
with that.
fucking
And
prime JaVale McGee would be perfect.
that was another reason why I picked OKC, because they don't have to make that big move.
Yeah.
That big move is on the table, but they don't have to make
Right.
that big move.
Yeah,
They have the freedom to take any avenue they so choose, which is why I picked them. Because look, I'm gonna be honest, as much as it pains me to say this, I think Isaiah Hartenstein ends up in an Oklahoma City Thunder jersey. Why? Because I think they're gonna throw as much money as they possibly want at him.
The
To
reports
where
was
he
20 a
can't
year.
say no. To where he can't say no.
Think he's gonna do that to
And
us?
if they're gonna use, I'm not gonna
It's
be
so-
mad at him.
It's
Yeah,
hard to turn
can't
down
blame
that
him,
much.
yeah.
For someone who has
they already
never
offered him
been,
it.
No,
no.
but they're gonna. We've seen all the reports are saying like they're gonna offer him as much as it takes. To
He
get
would
him to
double
leave
his
New York.
payday.
Probably.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. So the way I put it is, I would be mad if we were offering him a similar contract.
Yeah.
We quite literally do not have the ability to offer him a similar contract. Not because we can't pay the dude, just because of salary
Way
cap
NBA
rules and
contract,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So realistically, it's like, does he take this 2-year deal with a player option in the second year or something like that to then potentially re-sign with the Knicks next offseason? But at the same time, he's also risking his potential long-term future in case of an injury.
Yeah,
Or-
he's on the older side of things. It would be like a.
He's like 27. Surprisingly, he's
getting
older than
yeah,
people think.
No, yeah, like he's getting there. So like, shit, it would be a 4-year deal probably with OKC. You even
4
a
years,
bit-
80 is like
Yeah,
the
I'm
you
thinking-
have an
foundation of
ability
it.
to get $20 million ish per year for the next 4 years up until
go
you're
above that.
31. Like
Yeah.
I
you
think-
can't you can't turn that down.
I think he ends up getting like a 4-year, $90 million offer from Oak. They will not be afraid to just keep
Just throw
upping the
money,
price.
yeah.
They don't give a shit about that with him. Like, especially because 23 or 24 in 2 years from now is like, I don't know, like 10% of the salary cap at that point. So it's like, bro, they're not afraid to throw money at him. And that's what scares me, because we're going to lose him. We're going to lose him. OKC will end up with
Sure
Isaiah
seems like
Hartenstein,
it.
I think.
That is
Which
so
hurts
painful.
and breaks my heart,
think about
because
it.
then
Yeah,
it's,
very
what the
painful.
fuck do the Knicks do? Like,
You know, I wanted to buy a.
Hartenstein
I mean, you still
jersey?
can.
Yeah.
I absolutely would.
for the
if
Mavs.
we get him back, if he takes less and
Listen to
says,
this.
screw it, if he takes less,
Listen to me, Isaiah.
the 2-year, 33 or 34
Please.
with the player option in the second year, I will buy the Isaiah Hartenstein jersey. I will 100% make that purchase,
Please,
because
Isaiah.
then he's obviously leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
Because someone will be offering him more than that.
Yeah.
What his contract's at right now? How much is he making around now?
He only made, bro, this was the
Not a
most.
lot. Is it
he made
jokes?
$8 million this season
Yeah.
What?
for being
that was good.
What? Oh,
Nothing,
okay.
yeah.
He made $8 million in a season.
this
1
season,
year.
this past season.
The Knicks have like
I mean, he's still streaming it.
the Knicks have like 6 or 7 of the best contracts in the NBA.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dog. Like, I mean,
Dante and Brunson to start.
still
yeah,
laying
yeah.
thick on $8 million a year. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know what
Yes,
I mean.
but-
When you go with
Okay,
laying
so
thick.
Pete, put it like this: for someone who has made around
I get
20
it, though.
million
It's
in
fucking
total.
more than double the
20
money,
million
but,
in
like-
total in like 6 or 7 years of being in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
20 million total.
Oh, last year was his highest paying year.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll make more. He'll make more in one season,
Than
maybe
he
more.
has in
probably
his
than he
entire
has in his
NBA
entire
career to this point.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So would you
Well-
rather lock up
and he's going to a great team and a great
perfect fit.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
with a title contender? Not
Right.
to say we aren't potentially a title
Funny because he
contender
would
next
be
year.
also like the perfect fit
For OKC.
for OKC.
He is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
perfect
yeah.
fit for OKC.
Yeah.
Because he also brings a skill set that OKC values in terms of all
Actually,
their players.
you better be working on that hook shot in the all season, dog.
He has
Doesn't
the
need to.
floater.
That
He
shit's
has the
butter.
floater.
That's just butter.
Bro, it's so funny because he was fucking bricking that for like all the games I was watching. And up until I said it out loud. I remember I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, this motherfucker's got to work on that fucking hook shot. Like every time he does it, he fucking bricks it. He was. I'm telling you.
shit.
His
Butter.
floater's butter, bro.
No, and then the next time I watched,
Yeah.
he was making them all, and that's when he was getting like close to 10 points a game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right, he worked on it.
Yeah.
But
And he could.
But yeah.
He actually has 3-point range too.
He was
Which the
shooting
Knicks
when,
have
when,
not.
Has he pulled a
when
lot
they
of
first
three-pointers?
when he
Not with
first
us.
got to the Knicks. He was shooting a few, and then he just
He shot him with the Clippers when he was with them. and he
shot him
shot
with
like
the Clippers.
40%, but on low volume.
And
he
then-
has 3-point range.
Well,
And then he
also,
learned how to
we're-
pass
we're
really
gonna-
well,
We're gonna
so-
be getting.
he was always able to do that.
Yeah.
He actually credits that to Jokic from when he spent time in Denver. He said he learned a lot from
forgot he was in Denver.
from Jokic.
Shit.
Yeah. He's been around, bro.
We're
Been
getting
in
some
Houston,
talent back
been in
though next year for the
Cleveland.
Knicks. So I guess if we have to.
Bro, if we fucking lose Isaiah, I will cry on this
Yeah, I'll be
podcast.
upset.
I
At
will
least we
cry
got
on this
Josh Hart
podcast.
though.
True.
That-
Josh Hart.
He's not going
Yes.
anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
Oh, we got 40 minutes, 48 minutes of basketball
40
locked in for the Knicks.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Yeah,
Like we got the one man army.
we definitely have
Yeah.
48 minutes of basketball.
Josh Hart.
One man.
Yeah, nah. But I think OKC is incredibly intriguing. So
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
a good take. Yeah.
your
Got me,
turn, right?
babes.
Oh yeah, I didn't give a team. Holy fuck, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no.
Back down.
I was
The
waiting on
team-
that. I'm like,
Team I was most excited for. There's a lot that I'm excited for because I do like the My League rebuilds all the time. So I go through the fucking motions in the offseason. But the one I'm landing on is Philly, just because I think their like entire team is going into free agency. So they have so many, like you said about OKC, they have so many avenues they can go to. Is
I gotta
it
be careful.
yeah? Is it Paul George? I think that's probably the guy at the top of their
Yeah,
list,
I think if
or
it's
Jimmy
not-
Butler.
I think if it's not Paul
What team did
George,
we-
Philly.
Sixers?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
Philadelphia.
think if it's not
yeah.
Paul George, they fucked up.
Yeah, if it's not Paul
Not
George,
gonna- I know there is
Listen,
like other avenues. LeBron's not going to no Philly.
probably not, but
Jimmy.
LeBron.
Jimmy Butler. There it is. That's the move that I think
Bro.
is the move.
Jimmy's not leaving.
I don't think Jimmy's going. No,
Yeah.
Jimmy's not going there. But
If
I
they're
don't
not
think Jimmy's
willing to
leaving
give him
Miami, but
if they're not
yeah.
willing to give him a long-term extension, he's getting the fuck out of
if Philly will give him like a 4-year deal and Miami
Max
won't.
contract, bro,
Yeah.
he's leaving. He's out of there. And then it will be
And
Maxey
Tobias Harris is
Embiid.
off the team, so like W, you know.
That's
Exactly.
just not the guy I want next to Embiid. I don't think.
Really?
It was so good though.
Or Tobias.
It was good.
no one
because
wants
they were
Tobias next to
fucking
anyone.
loaded as a
Right? Yeah,
team.
yeah.
They
I
were
think they
insane.
still
Because
have-
Ben Simmons was insane.
Yeah, man. I can't believe that.
Ben Simmons was
Yeah, that
better
was
than
something
some
else.
fucking
Forgot
Tyrese
that man was
Maxey,
Right.
bro.
Forgot that man was a human.
Respect to Tyrese Maxey, but no.
Yeah, respect to
Ben
Tyrese.
Simmons-
Tyrese is
Maxey for sure.
damn good,
Tyrese is
though.
a
Nah, Ben
Tyrese is a
Simmons was
dog.
moving differently though.
Yeah.
Especially like when Jimmy was there, like Ben Simmons was moving differently.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think
Um,
Maxey's the perfect third guy to them too. Like, and we just saw that he's a capable second guy. That
And
if
no,
you move
Tyrese
into the,
Maxey's sick. I just don't know if
I would rather. I don't know if I'd rather Paul George than Jimmy. I don't know.
I would definitely rather Paul
Yeah.
George.
and
Rather Paul George.
Yeah.
to
For
play
that
next to
fit,
Comfortably.
Embiid.
for that
Right,
trio,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But I'm not. But like, it's Paul George and then
Like,
it's Jimmy
Jimmy's-
Butler for the
Jimmy's
fit.
not
Yeah,
the type
I
of
think.
guy who like plays off of so and so. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands, like we've seen Jimmy, like for as many playoff moments as he has, like we see Jimmy disappear a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
like a good amount.
Hell
I
yeah,
just think
bro.
it'd be
And it's just like
man.
he's just not really effective without the ball in his hands, honestly, on offense. And you got to get the ball to Embiid. Like he's not effective. I don't know how the fuck that worked, having Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler. Now that I think about it, next to Embiid. How
That's
did
what
that
I'm
work?
saying.
But I don't know.
But it did.
Yeah, maybe I got to go back and watch some tape. But if I'm Philly, I want shooting next to Embiid. That's the recipe is shooters.
Could be.
But
If-
now the
if I have
rest
a-
of your lineup is shooters. It's just Jimmy, who actually was capably shooting the 3-ball on low volume this year too.
Could see a little Brandon Ingram in Philly too.
I could see that. I definitely could see that.
I think that's the order. It's PG, Butler, and
Brandon
then
Ingram.
and then
Ingram's gonna get traded.
I think
that's
so too.
locked
They
in.
were the other team I was considering, New Orleans, because I think Ingram's gone.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't thought much about New Orleans yet. There is like a lot to like.
There's a lot to unpack. With
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
DeJounte Murray might end
If
up
I'm
there.
Philly, bro, it's Paul George or bust, bro. I'm sorry.
I'm throwing everything at Paul George.
If
too.
they get
I would agree.
Jimmy Butler, like, it's cool, but like,
Second
I'm
best
not.
team in the East in that case.
Yeah, something more than cool though.
I disagree.
Really?
They're a title contender if they get
yeah,
it.
they're definitely they're a contender
I
with
mean,
Jimmy.
A lot of people are big on Jimmy, but
Yeah. He brought a team to the finals twice.
As
Second-
a guy, and
I love
everything,
him,
a
but
fucking
like you're talking,
complicated
you're
guy.
talking
Yeah.
role
He's
play.
Capable.
It's such
He
a
did it with
different
Philly,
role.
dude.
That was I don't know. I gotta go back and watch because I
Look-
can't remember what the offense
Right.
even looked like. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh yeah, you're right. He was so good in Philly because I really don't remember.
But I also think it
What
makes
was the stats?
every
What was
other
the offense
aspect-
like?
But okay, but here's my question. So Philly was already a really good team, right?
Yes.
Now you get rid of this black hole in Tobias Harris and bring in Jimmy Butler.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't fucking make them better. I just don't.
You don't think it brings them to title contention? Would you have
I don't know.
considered Philly a
wanna
title
take,
contender
yo,
healthy
I don't want to take anything away
prior-
from Jimmy Butler. Like, it's
No.
not him.
prior to the
it's-
Embiid injury?
Bro, the guy hasn't fucking made it out of the second round. No.
I'm just asking.
They're
I was
not
just
no
asking
title,
a question.
They're not no title contender until they fucking make a conference finals, bro. Like, I don't.
Okay, Jimmy's
They're-
been there, done that. Is all I'm saying. Like that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I guess he brings that aspect, but what I'm actually talking about is like basketball, the game that they play. Like I know Jimmy has leadership and dog, but I'm talking about like a basketball fit. I don't know if you want to bring in a guy who's going to take the ball out of your young superstar Tyrese Maxey's hands. I think you want a Paul George who could play off of players. I
yeah.
don't know how Jimmy Butler at this point in his career fits into that team. I'd have to see it.
Yeah,
Like,
would
I don't-
Jimmy Butler improve the 76ers 100%?
Like obviously he's
But
better
if you
than
had-
Tobias Harris.
If you had to
but-
choose between Paul
It's
George,
Paul
and
George
I already said
Butler.
it. Yeah, I
Yeah, then it's
100%
Paul
still.
George,
but I don't
you
think.
know,
I think
but-
this. I think the Paul George or bust thing is just
So
not
in
true.
terms of, if you were curious, the year Jimmy was there, the Sixers were 8th in offensive rating per game. They were 8th in three-point percentage,
fuck
which is
were they that
fucking crazy with Ben Simmons.
Well, they had
Butler.
JJ and
yeah,
Toby.
they had JJ.
JJ and Toby played well that
Shit
season.
ass Toby. 6th in true shooting. They were good off. 4th in points per game. They were good offense. They were very good offense.
I don't see how it's worse.
And Jimmy was averaging 18
I'm
a
not
game. for
saying
what
they're
it's worth.
good. Bro,
No, he's definitely
Jimmy
not saying
Butler
they're
is
worse.
better than Tobias Harris.
no.
I'm not a fucking idiot,
I'm saying
bro.
them that them 8th in the NBA with Ben Simmons and Jimmy. I'm saying it like it's got to be a better fit. You
Oh,
replace
they were
Ben
also
with
probably a great transition team because of Ben Simmons and his ability to get guys involved and that such. They don't have a true playmaker like that, which could be a factor.
I think
Jimmy
brings
Butler's
that.
also. You do not know how good Ben Simmons was. Holy fuck. A playmaker? Bro, no, no.
Jimmy brings 80% of the playmaking ability that Ben Simmons brought. Yes. 80%.
Anyways,
He did. He does. He simply
Like, fuck
does.
this guy. Where's Trunks? Trunks is a big Ben Simmons
Don't
guy.
get me wrong. Ben was
Ben
amazing.
Simmons was a generational playmaking prospect, my friend. Generational. Jimmy Butler is like
Very good playmaker.
he's a good play. Yes, he's a good playmaker. He's a good playmaker. He's a good playmaker for a forward. Yeah, Ben Simmons was a literal fucking point guard, bro. A literal point guard. Like, yeah, I think Jimmy Butler is definitely better at a lot of things than Ben Simmons, for sure. But, like, just because we like Jimmy Butler more and he didn't quit on the team and have back spasms doesn't make him a better playmaker. Like,
I never said he was a better playmaker. I'm just saying 75 to 80% of.
you just said 85%.
I
No,
said
he
80.
said 80.
Okay.
I said 80.
the 5%.
That
Everybody.
5%
It does.
matters.
5%,
Everybody.
5%
big difference.
matters.
Big difference.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't think it really he helps them and makes them a better team, but they also still have Joel Embiid on the team. Me personally, I don't want to add a guy to take the ball out of Tyrese Maxey's hands. My thought process should be adding around Tyrese and Joel Embiid to complement them. I don't really think Jimmy Butler's game necessarily complements them that much, especially Tyrese Maxey.
So if they whiff on Paul George, it's a loss. End up with Jimmy Butler.
I don't think they're winning no championship, so if that's a loss for them, then yeah.
Okay. I
don't think if they're really winning. I don't really think they're winning a championship with Paul George.
I
either.
agree with you. I don't think they're winning a championship either way.
I think it's a loss no matter what they do.
I mean, yeah, but you still got to try to improve.
Yeah, and I think Paul George
Paul George or Jimmy Butler give you a damn good shot.
I think Paul George gives them a legitimate chance if they're healthy. I don't know how. All I'm saying is I just don't know how Jimmy Butler fits, and you're getting in your fucking feelings about it, bro.
No, look, I'm not disagreeing.
My point is just that Paul George fits in seamlessly. Jimmy Butler, not so much. Jimmy Butler, a lot of things have to change. Jimmy Butler is a guy who is good with the ball, and he's such a good playmaker, right? He's such a good playmaker. How is he going to make plays? How do you make plays? With the ball in your hands or not in your hands?
But
how do you make plays?
But here's the thing,
how do you
Chris,
make plays?
You obviously make plays with the ball in your fucking hands.
So does that help?
But it's also
Maxey?
you could also make plays without the ball in your hands too.
But how does Jimmy Butler make most of his plays?
I think Jimmy Butler is more than capable of playing a different style of basketball at times and deferring to Tyrese.
Right. So let's see. All I'm saying is I don't know how the pecking order and how it would fucking work. That's all I'm fucking saying. Paul George, you insert him there, you know exactly how it's gonna work. It's gonna be Joel Embiid. It's gonna be Tyrese Maxey, and then Paul George will get his and find his. It's a simple pecking order with Paul George.
He's gone.
Jimmy Butler's just been the guy for fucking 4 years. Just been the guy for 4 years. Had the ball in his hands the whole fucking time.
I'm not disagreeing. I know, I agree. But I'm
right.
just.
So what are you getting?
I think he'd be willing to take a step back. Is all I'm saying. Like
I'm sure he would, but Jimmy Butler's skill set.
I think great players can make it work.
You're missing the point. His skill set is better with the ball in his hands. So you're like, oh, but you're getting Jimmy Butler. He just took a team to the finals 2 times. Actually, he took a team to the finals. If he has to change his skill set because he's so great, you're not getting that version of Jimmy Butler. It's math. You give and take.
I don't know. I still.
What do you mean you don't know? What don't you know about what I just said?
Because I think a great player like that will still obviously get the ball enough. He's still going to get the ball a lot, quite a bit, to play to his strengths, given that he's going to be second or third best player on the team. And we've seen that Tyrese Maxey, when he doesn't have the ball in his hands also, is an incredibly efficient 22 or 23. So you put the ball more.
When's Tyrese Maxey at his best? What we just saw this season, right?
That's just not necessarily true, though. Because if I can also get a Tyrese Maxey,
he just almost beat your fucking team by himself.
Whoa! What the fuck did we do?
No, I'm
bring us
saying,
into
he
this.
almost just kicked you guys down. He dropped fucking like 40 on you guys in the playoffs with the fucking ball.
But I'm just saying, when he didn't
like,
constantly have the ball in his hands, he was a 50, 40, 90, 22 point per game guy.
Right, but he just showed this season that he's better with an expanded. He was a fucking almost all NBA player this season. Like, he showed that he's better with the ball in it. What I'm saying is Jimmy Butler takes the ball out of his hands, doesn't provide spacing, and it might not be as seamless. All I'm saying is it might not be this seamless fit. You're making it like Jimmy Butler's
I didn't say that. That's not why I started arguing. I started arguing because you said it's Paul George or bust, which I disagree.
I think it's Paul George or bust, and I'm explaining it to you. And you're
I'm explaining my side of why it's not Paul George.
You guys are podcasting.
Right, but you're saying that Jimmy Butler's so great because he led a team to the finals 2 times. What I'm saying is if he comes to Philly, he won't be playing that role. So I would need to see how it would all fit before I could say they'd be a title contender or anything like that. Paul George, it's clearly obvious how everything would fit. You don't have to see it. It's pretty... It works itself out. Jimmy Butler's game has been having the ball in his hands for the past 4 years. Yeah, he was really good on Philly, but that's just that was fucking 4 or 5 years ago we're talking about. Like, this is going to be 2025 we're going into. So it's different. And it's also a different team. It's Tyrese Maxey's team now. It's no Ben Simmons. No, you don't have a sniper like JJ Redick who will make up for a lot of the spacing. I guess you have Buddy Hield, but he barely even played in the playoffs for you. So will he even play for them? You're going to be starting fucking Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, whoever, and then Joel Embiid.
Shooting guard's probably going to end up being DeAnthony Melton or something like that.
So you're going to start Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Lowry, DeAnthony Melton.
Well, no. I'm saying Kyle Lowry isn't starting.
I'm
saying next season it would be. I don't think he's starting next season. Come start of next season though. DeAnthony Melton was hurt. He likely would have been the starter.
Okay,
Kyle Lowry.
So Tyrese Maxey, DeAnthony Melton, Jimmy Butler, whoever, and Joel Embiid.
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, that doesn't really scream championship contender at me. If it's Paul George, I actually could see them being literally the best offense in the NBA. Like, they might have an actual advantage. If they get Jimmy, they're a pretty damn good team. But like they are now, they're pretty damn... I really don't think... Maybe Jimmy's dog will persevere, but in terms of basketball, it's really just not the greatest fit. That's not the type of guy that you want around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Okay. Especially when there's a guy on the market who's a perfect fit. Jimmy Butler's not... Like, if you're whiffing on the perfect fit to get a guy who's a damn good player, a great player, but isn't really the ideal fit, and you're whiffing on the guy who's a really damn good, great player and is a perfect fit, then you missed. And that's my point. Paul George is a perfect fit. If you miss the perfect fit, you miss. Jimmy Butler could be good for them, and maybe he can take them to those heights. I don't really know, but on paper, basketball fit-wise, from what we've seen from everybody involved in this party over the past few years, like, if you don't get Paul George, you missed. It's pretty simple. I don't know. Same thing with Brandon Ingram. Like, Brandon Ingram's a great player. I don't know how the fuck he fits in there.
That's
like, why the fuck would they go get Brandon Ingram? Right, but Brandon Ingram's, it's the same thing as Jimmy Butler. He's effective with the ball. Maybe Jimmy brings more defensively, and Jimmy has dog, I guess. But, like, in terms of offensively, which is my whole point I was making, it's the same thing. Jimmy Butler's more effective with the ball in his hands. The same thing with Brandon Ingram. And when you have a guy like Joel Embiid and you have a guy like Tyrese Maxey, who's borderline All-NBA by giving him an increased role, like, are they really going to keep fucking playing with Tyrese Maxey's role? That's what they're going to do to try and get Jimmy Butler. They've been playing with this man his whole career, changing his role.
But they just gave him a bag. Right. So, like, it really doesn't.
No, but it matters. Right, this
extent.
guy has to keep changing his fucking... Let him just fucking grow. You don't want to get Jimmy Butler and, like, take the... Yeah, he was great as an off-the-ball player, but also he just proved he's a fucking borderline All-NBA player with the ball in his hands. Like,
no, I agree, but I still think
you want a guy to fit into what you're doing, you don't want to bring in a guy to fucking have to change everything. Jimmy Butler requires a lot more change.
Changing than Paul George.
A lot more, like a significant amount more. A significant amount more. Paul George, you literally plug him in and you're good to go. You don't have to fucking change shit.
He is.
You don't have to
change.
Requires
shit. The ball a little bit.
Paul George, yeah, he'll get his. Tobias was able to get his shots.
Well, yeah, Tobias is Tobias.
And I'm like they'll all get their shots. Like, it's a fucking NBA. They play 48 minutes of fucking, like, they'll get their shots. They're fucking making millions and millions of dollars. The coaches will make sure the guys who get paid will get their fucking shots. But Paul George, you plug him in and you don't really need to change. He can play off Embiid. He could play off Tyrese Maxey and still get his 15 shots, whatever the fucking case may be. Jimmy Butler, to get his shots and be really effective on offense, needs to initiate the offense and change the offense. Yeah. All right. Okay. Sixers. What do you think, Tom? Because they were your team.
Yeah, that's wild. We just ripped that
fucking 10-minute rant and then just ask, what do I think? I like Jimmy. No, I'm playing. No, I do think Paul George should be the top priority, and you should try and go get him because, but it's tough because they haven't made it out of the second round. But that's not how the Sixers see it. They see that they have a guy that can lead them to a championship. He's one of the best players in the world, and they want to put the best team around him. So I think Paul George is a great fit next to Embiid. I think Philadelphia fans might cut their heads off because if both of those guys shit the bed in a playoff game, which they've been known to do, that's going to be a problem. But definitely not a team I would want to see in the playoffs. So.
Fucking argument for Jimmy Butler that he doesn't have fucking stinkers.
Well, no, but Jimmy definitely has his stinkers too. But he has less stinkers than Paul George.
Yeah, he definitely
So-
has less. He definitely has less stinkers than Paul George. Yeah.
That was your point. You would have had me.
Yeah.
Trying to tell me fucking Jimmy Butler could play Nick like. Huge shout out to our new partners over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best daily fantasy sports game. In the pick'em mode, you can win up to 20 times your money. You pick any player and you select higher or lower on a given stat. You could have 2 to 5 different players in a select entry. The more players in your entry, the more money you could win. Make sure you use our code BallGame for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Check this map on the screen to see if Underdog's available in your state. Again, make sure you sign up for Underdog Fantasy and use our code BallGame for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Thanks again to our partners over at Underdog.
Underdog,
Yeah.
baby.
Fun times.
Well, that went on longer than. That was
Fun
good though.
times.
That was-
As you guys saw, big shout out to Underdog, our partners over there. Make sure you guys use our code BallGamePod. We have a fun segment for you guys. Underdog dropped NFL season-long stat projections. So what we're going to be doing is picking some of our favorites and telling you if we're going higher or lower. Pretty simple. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. I'll get it started with the first one that I like. So they have the stat projection for Marvin Harrison Jr.'s receiving yards at 1,075.5 yards. I think it's the easiest hire of my life. Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, he's low-key like my twin. We're kind of brothers. But, I mean, he's the best wide receiver prospect of all time.
That's the only difference between you two.
Yeah.
Low key.
My time's coming.
Right.
My time's coming.
Stay tuned.
But, no, I mean, this guy pretty much lived in the end zone at Ohio State. He's also Arizona's only real receiving threat, I guess, if you want to count Trey McBride.
There it is.
But, yeah, there it is, Trey McBride.
Whoa. No Trey McBride disrespect here.
Trey McBride's cool.
Amazing.
And he actually has a really good quarterback. He's walking into a situation where he should get high-quality targets, and he should get a shit ton of them. So I think 1,100 for Marvin Harrison's an easy smash. Took the higher.
Yeah, I mean, before the podcast, I quite literally said, is anyone taking this Marvin Harrison line? And Chris said, yeah, don't pick that because I already did. So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely take the higher on that. I think that's pretty easy, so.
Yeah. I mean,
Taking the higher?
yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't realize that's what we were doing here. Yeah, no, I definitely take the higher on Marvin Harrison. It's one of those things too where it's like, if you take the higher and it doesn't hit, you're like, oh man, whatever happened. But if you take the lower and he smashes it, you're gonna feel like an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely take the higher
100 is easy.
It's easy.
for the one of the best
Arguably
receiver
the greatest
prospects of all
receiver
time.
prospect of all time.
Yeah.
Taking the higher.
Oh, yeah, no, easy money. Yeah.
Easy money?
100%.
All
Yeah.
right, word.
People never not take.
What do you
higher.
got for us, Matt?
So my first line that I wanted to pick was Lamar Jackson higher than 22.5 passing touchdowns. I feel like it's pretty simple for me, to be honest. I think Lamar is going to smash that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a better offense.
How many did he have last year?
I think he had 27
And
last year.
what's the projection?
22.5. So
There we go.
this is on the lower side of things. Even if he has some touchdown regression, which I don't think is going to end up happening, I think Lamar's going to smash that.
There we go.
Yeah, agreed. I think the Ravens offense should definitely be better this season. The receiving core will get better. Easy.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely,
a pretty
yeah.
easy hire, I think.
Yeah. Easy going.
They clicked on all cylinders in the first year in the Greg Roman offense, so I think they should. No, not Greg.
It
Roman.
wasn't Greg
Who the
Roman,
Fuck
it
is
was,
that guy's name?
Todd
Monken.
Was it Todd Monken? Or was that the prior? Regardless, it was more
No,
of a passing
Monken was
system.
Roman was before Todd. Roman.
Yeah, I was gonna say Monken was
Monken's now.
No, Monken's now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
that's
the
what I
first
said.
year in Tom Monken's offense. My bad.
Right, right.
Greg Roman was before. Tom
Yeah, yeah,
Monken
Yes.
was what I was saying. Yeah,
Yes.
my bad. But going into
Casual.
the second year in that offense, it should continue to get even better.
All right, I'm up. My first leg is, what are we going with? I also have Lamar Jackson. I have him for higher than 770.5 rushing yards. Averages out to about 40 yards a game. I think Lamar Jackson can easily smash that. I know they got Derrick Henry back there, but have you seen that man run? He's unstoppable.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's a higher.
I might take the lower on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I
Might
feel like
take
a
a-
tight line, but like
That's a
obviously,
lot of yards. Like, I know it's Lamar, but that's a lot of yards. And I think you add a guy like Derrick Henry to try and have Lamar not run as much. I would think. I don't know.
well,
Yeah, I mean, in second half of the season, you get Keaton Mitchell, probably healthy, who was balling last year before he tore his ACL too. So you have
mean,
options in the
When you say it like, 770 whatever yards, it sounds like a lot. But then when you narrow it down to only 40 yards a game,
That's
it's
how
not
I
that
did it. That's how
many.
that's how
Not
I did it.
that
That's why I
many.
said
That's
that.
why
yeah.
I picked that.
he's gonna have a couple games where he gets 70.
He's gonna go for 80.
Yeah.
You know,
It's an easy prop.
yeah.
I'm gonna
But
go with the lower though. I'm gonna go. With
Okay.
the
That's
lower.
fair.
It's funny because my
If I had to pick, I just wouldn't
You wouldn't
put this
touch
in
it?
my
Right,
split.
yeah,
but
yeah.
since I have to pick, I'm gonna go with the lower.
Funny enough, I guess it's a good transition for my pick. I went with Derrick Henry over 999 and a half.
No, you didn't.
It's
Nope.
high. You
Rushing
didn't
yards.
go
You
over.
didn't go over. You went higher.
No, I went higher
There you
than
go.
999 and a half rushing yards.
I was afraid I was
also
gonna
had
do
that
it.
Yeah,
I
I'm going Derrick Henry higher on rushing yards.
I mean, I don't have it in mind, but
That's a smash.
pretty easy. And I have him on my dynasty,
smash.
so let's go Derrick Henry.
He's a
Yeah.
walking 1K. He's in the best situation he's
Absolutely.
probably been in his
Yeah.
career. So they should look to feed him early and often. And when the winter comes, Derrick Henry comes harder.
Yeah,
True.
So in the AFC North, you're gonna
King of the North.
Yeah, you're gonna need that man to fucking go for 1,000.
He's King Henry
so.
for a reason, and
Yep.
now he's in the North. He's literally king
Yeah.
of the North now. So
Always turns it up in the winter, and that's when AFC North football gets
Oh my
down to the
goodness.
nitty gritty. So
indeed.
they're
You
gonna.
also
they're
took
gonna
Henry.
I also had that one.
Oh,
You had another
You had that already?
Yeah, and you took.
I had another Henry. It was 10.5. I think. Let me double check. I should keep my phone on lock. Yeah, I had Derrick Henry higher than 10.5 rushing touchdowns. Simple math is Gus Edwards got 13. Derrick Henry's way better than Gus Edwards. Should be simple enough for him to score
Oh,
10.5
Gus
touchdowns.
Edwards, our
those
Staten
Staten Island
Island
boy,
family,
yeah.
man. Come on.
I
But, yeah.
respect Gus Edwards, but Derrick Henry is way better than him.
You know, it kind of scares me a little bit. Like, does the fall off happen for Derrick Henry?
Not this year.
Can't.
No,
He's gonna be so rejuvenated.
Yeah,
first year in
not this
Baltimore,
year.
bruh,
Not this year. No.
Next year. Next year it might come.
Chris, like next
Yeah.
year.
Next year it might come. I think he's gonna be so fucking rejuvenated to not be in Tennessee. Like it's gonna be a little bit less volume, but the efficiency
Should be a
efficiency
lot higher.
his
yeah.
efficiency has been pretty dog shit the past few years, and he's still been a walking
Right.
like 1,000 yards. So the
Yeah.
efficiency should be a lot better. The volume might be down a little bit, but he should be a lot more efficient. He should really be able to walk into these.
So I'll theoretically say something like we obviously have that line, and thank God for that. That prop's easy, but I'll say like if the line was 14.5, do you take it higher?
Touchdown?
Do you still think he gets higher than 14 touchdowns?
Derrick Henry?
I
Yes.
think it's possible. I wouldn't. bet
Yeah,
on
I don't
it,
know.
though.
I definitely wouldn't bet on it.
Yo,
yeah, but it
you're
is
talking.
possible.
He's averaging a touchdown a game at that point. That's
Yeah.
a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, 15 is a lot, bro. I think there's a real good. I might throw some money on him to lead the league in rushing touchdowns. So I think if there was anyone to bet on, he'd be up there
Yeah.
for sure.
Not McCaff?
Calf is obviously always
He's
in that.
got the curse
Rushing
though.
touchdowns, maybe not.
He's got the curse though.
Total touchdowns,
He's got the
yeah,
Madden
I'm
curse
scared
now.
of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of scared of
Well, what's
And
the
he's-
Madden curse for the people?
Cover athletes just
Stink it up.
that. It's
Stink it
real
up,
bad.
yeah.
It's either injury or they stink it up. I think Mahomes kind of cracked that though.
well, as he does.
But Mahomes does everything. So.
Who's on the cover of the Madden I'm playing right now?
Josh Allen.
Allen.
Yeah.
He had a good year.
He had a great year, but
He was fine.
he lost to Pat.
I guess.
Everyone does.
Everyone
I
loses
don't
to
really
Pat
think that was a
eventually,
Madden thing.
No, that's just the Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes thing.
Right.
So
yeah.
my next stat projection, I think this one.
Did you give your second one?
No, I didn't.
No, because we
Wait,
went off.
I'm
on the
gonna give a
Henry tangent.
different third one instead
Okay.
of the Derrick
Right,
Henry
right,
one
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I'll
okay,
find
cool,
some.
go for
So
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So my second one, I think this one's as easy as they come. They have Tyreek Hill at 14.25.5. I mean, he smashed 1,700 the past 2 years. He was on pace for 2K last year, missed a few games. I think they don't even have it at 1,500. Like,
Yeah.
this is less than 1,500 yards. I mean, not much needs to be said. I think Tua is still growing as a quarterback. I think Tua should continue to take a step up, hopefully, and be a little bit better than last year. Maybe not fall off at the end of the
Playing for a
season.
contract.
Yeah.
Playing for a contract. That's always a good thing for your wide receiver when your quarterback's playing for a contract. So, and it's fucking Tyreek Hill. Like what Son
Yeah,
said
come on.
doesn't need to be said. This line is way too low. It's way too
Yeah, I
low.
knew you were going to take it as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, I
was
didn't
like,
pick
it's a
it
good
because
one.
of that
Yeah.
exact reason. As
It's
well,
way
yeah.
too low. I mean, like, if it was at 17, I probably would have taken it and said, well, he smashed this the past 2 years. Like, this is way too low.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't get over this.
I agree.
Higher than
I
this.
take the higher on that one too.
I take the higher as well.
For sure.
My next one, I picked Trevor Lawrence for higher than 22.5 passing touchdowns, and they had Derek Carr projected for more passing touchdowns than Trevor Lawrence. And while I understand that Trevor Lawrence didn't exactly have a great year last year, he was dealing with a lot of injuries along the offensive
Neither
line.
did Derek Carr.
And he was also injured for much of the year.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence is still the guy that you think he is. I want people to remember that. So he's still that generational prospect. He's still that elite #1 overall pick. And I think Trev's about to have a massive year. And I think 22.5 is pretty simple. He's going over. He's going higher.
I went to look at Trevor Lawrence's touchdowns and accidentally looked at Derek Carr's. Derek Carr threw 25. Trev threw 21 last year, and he was
Hurt
in the worst situation.
and had a
he's
terrible
been in.
situation.
Yeah, so,
And they dropped, like, a lot of
oh my
touchdowns.
God, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Ridley himself
Yeah,
had
I was
just gonna say,
4 dropped
Calvin
Yeah,
Ridley
they
touchdowns.
dropped a
Dropped a bunch
lot
of
of
them.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
a
he
home
would've-
run pick.
He would have smashed this if he had competent football.
If I had to pick 3 picks thus far to like put together, I would probably take the Henry touchdowns, the Trevor one, and the Tyreek one. I
Yeah.
think those are the easiest
Yeah.
locks. But my last pick
And I'm a Trev fanboy.
is for sure. A hometown pick. I'm taking Brian Burns higher than 8.75 sacks. This guy is one of the premier edge rushers in the league. He's the #1 edge rusher on the team. He should easily smash that. And you get it at a little bit of a discount at 0.95 as far as the profit line goes, but it's an easy lock.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
as a Giant fan, I think that's pretty simple.
Right.
The dude was phenomenal last year. He has even more help along the defensive line now. Let's not forget that. Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon should only make life easier on this man. So 8.75, man, that's a
Disrespectful.
light one. That's a light one. Pete, what's your next one?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It's kind of upsetting as a Jets fan, because I wish you would do this for us, but I'm gonna have to go with Brock Bowers higher than 4.5 touchdowns this season. I want to see him do his thing. I do think that he either gets right there at 5, or he just absolutely way overperforms that, and it does like 8 or 9. The alternative to that, it's either 5, 8, or none, because
Absolutely not.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you never know. It is his first time.
It's also the Raiders.
Respect Minshew,
you know,
bro.
It's also Gardner Minshew.
Respect Minshew.
Minshew solid, though.
Yeah, but I am comfortable, especially at the value for that type of line. 5 calm touchdowns for arguably one of the best tight end prospects we've seen in the longest time.
Yeah.
Taking him at
In my personal
higher than 4.5
Best.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Better than
So-
Pitts.
yeah.
Yeah, nah, I think that's pretty simple.
Can we agree? I don't know. What do we think? I had a little trouble clicking the higher button on
It's
that,
another
but-
one like the
but-
same
but-
thing with
but I was
Marv.
comfortable
That's
doing
kind of how
that.
it goes with rookies, though, because
Yeah.
they're so
I was about
unpredictable.
to say that.
You know?
You know, who
He
really
should be
knows?
able to get it, though.
Rookie
It's like
tight
he
ends,
should
it's
be able
tough.
to.
Rookie tight end struggle.
Rookie
tend to
tight ends,
struggle
it's
a
always
little bit.
tough. But I said it
think
before the podcast.
The
I
top
don't think
picked
he's going to
ones.
just play tight end.
I was about to
That's
say
why I'm
exactly that.
comfortable with it,
I
you
was
know?
about to say,
Yeah.
I don't look at Brock Bowers and think that's a tight end. I look at him and think, oh, that's a weapon. I
Yeah.
can put him in the
More
backfield.
or
I could
less.
split him out wide.
Yeah,
he could
yeah.
beat a corner. He could beat a linebacker, beat a safety. It doesn't matter.
He'll smoke a
So-
linebacker.
So, like,
And you also have a legitimate #1
In Devontae,
weapon
yeah.
in Devontae
Yeah.
Adams there that's going to cause a lot of attention and take a lot of.
And Minshew's not great, but he can support a decent. He can support a good
and you have
season.
another
know?
tight end that could take the pressure off of him for blocking, too.
Yeah.
Michael Myers also very good.
Yeah, he's a good player.
The 2 tight end sets there are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You'll get that. I also end in mind with another rookie. If Trevor Lawrence is going to throw all those touchdowns, he got to throw them to someone. I'm going to go with Brian Thomas over higher than 5.5 receiving touchdowns. That's fine.
5.5 is a lot.
Not for my dog, Brian.
He's got, like you said, he's thrown 22 touchdowns. He got to throw them to somebody.
Is he
23
still-
touchdowns.
Do you think he steps in second option? This is
no, he'll
this is
be-
also including Evan Ingram, by the way.
He'll be an option, but he's
should be
gonna
behind those two,
be
yeah.
the big play threat. All those drop touchdowns to Calvin Ridley last year should theoretically go to Brian Thomas's direction. Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram are
He is the outside guy, too.
Yeah, they're
And
not.
Gabe.
Yeah,
Gabe they just signed to
it's
We
not
ain't
gonna
worried
take
about
long
no
for
Gabe.
Brian Thomas
to overtake.
Yeah,
We ain't
I
worried about no
think
Gabe.
is. I don't think so anyway.
No, we ain't worried about Gabe.
I love Gabe.
I think Brian Thomas is gonna have like one of those like really insane rookie second half of the season.
Yes, I agree.
Puts
with
everyone on. The Jags and Trev and all them guys, they're gonna get into like a rhythm in the second half of the year, and it's gonna be because of Brian.
It's gonna be scary hours.
My dog. I need his jersey, bro.
So I had to take another homer pick. Tom did it. I had to do it as well. We got a generational wide receiver prospect too, brother. His name is Malik Neighbors. And I'm definitely taking higher than 900.5 receiving yards. When you break it down, it's only like 54, 55 a game. And I'm happily going to take that because I think realistically, Neighbors is probably going to get hyper-targeted no matter who the quarterback is. Now the problem then becomes, is it high quality targets? Because Daniel Jones, I get it. I understand. Drew Lock, I get it. I understand. But he's going to get targeted so much that I think it's not even going to matter. And I think he's similar. I don't want to say this because the comparisons are running wild. I think he's very similar to Odell in a way that he could take a slant and bring it 70, 75 yards and already make up for it in just a few games. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
My guy.
Yeah, for
My
sure.
guy. Can't wait to get that jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough when he has a fucking landmine throwing him the ball, but I mean,
Maybe Danny has a bounce back. Maybe those wide eyes are
what
from
it
him
is?
studying so much.
You know what it is? Like, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, he really could have a bounce back because he was so fucking bad before he got
Yep.
hurt. How can he really be that much worse? The guy's career year was 15 touchdowns. I mean, come on. Like, can he really be that much worse? God, I'm not gonna get into it. Who'd you got? I said my last one.
Yeah. So I'm stuck between two right now, but I only because you guys kind of got me with the Madden curse thing. But I think I gotta go on my gut and stick to Plan A. I'm going higher than 5.5 receiving touchdowns with Christian McCaffrey. Now, especially towards the end of the season, when teams were adjusting to how strong McCaffrey was at running the ball, you saw the Chiefs throwing it to him a little bit more.
No, you didn't, brother.
I did.
Chiefs loved throwing it to him.
You saw the 49ers throwing the ball.
The Chiefs loved throwing to McCaffrey.
The Niners loved throwing it to him.
Imagine in the Super Bowl.
That was
Mahomes
crazy.
Just took a snap and threw it to McCaffrey on
On
the
the
sideline,
sideline.
bro.
He's like, let me just see what this feels like real quick.
No, I felt so
Yo,
good
I
saying
love
it too.
this.
I think the Niners got a lot more comfortable throwing him the ball, and I do think that he goes higher than 5.5.
Yeah, I mean,
Receiving touchdowns. It's kind of side by side with like Brock Bowers being like, oh, like he might just get it, but like I'm just confident that he will. But the reason why, especially I'm on McCaffrey, is because, like I said, like defenses are very strong on stopping his run, even though they're probably not going to be able to. Usually can't. I do think that if they have to, they're comfortable throwing him the ball. So why not? Let me throw that one in there. Higher than 5.5 receiving touchdowns.
You know, I'll add
Christian
to that
McCaffrey.
and say something else that plays into your hand with that one. There's a lot of trade rumors that either Ayuk or Deebo Samuel are going to get traded. So if
Really?
one of your weapons are gone,
Yeah.
probably got to target an elite pass catching back a little bit more. So,
yeah,
100%.
true.
So, yeah,
All right,
All right,
there it is.
that's the end. I'm so tired.
me too.
Yep. Thank you
McCaffrey-
guys so much. What?
So McCaffrey with the Chiefs.
Jesus Christ. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of our socials, copy BallGame 1K hoodie, do all that good stuff. Appreciate you all for watching. NFL season's coming up. 85 days, I think, something like that. And